And we are live.
We are live. We're
holy shit! Now it's my fault.
I told you. I fucking told you.
I hit a slider on accident. Hold on my board thing, and I didn't realize it. Okay,
yeah, you don't understand. You just don't get it. I warned this dude. Messing around with my volume before I knew. Anyways, shit. Hi everybody. Yeah, that's right. We are actually on time tonight. That is absolutely unbelievable that both Mav and I made it here on time on a Thursday. So welcome everybody to the normal hour of PM in the PM Pong and Mav in the PM every Thursday night, somewhere starting time between 7 Eastern, 7:30 Eastern usually. But we are here tonight right on schedule. So happy to be here this week. It is another, I feel like gamers Christmas almost. Again, all this freaking cool news. We had a state of play. We had TGS drop this morning at 5 a.m., which Mav co-hosted. I was actually up for getting ready for the day, so I was watching it this morning live as well with him. But yeah, feels like a little bit like gamers Christmas. I know not everybody's as happy as some of us are, but we're going to talk our show tonight. Mav does have to exit stage left. In a couple hours. So we are going to pretty much talk about state of play and talk about TGS, and then we'll see if we got any extra time for anything else. But it's been a great week, and I hope you all had a great week, and I love that you're all coming here to join us tonight. So thank you again for being here. So let's get right into business here. I got to introduce my co-host, the CEO of the Fun Speculation Network, the man who likes to go on Mav rants, the man who likes to do Mavcasts out of the blue in the middle of the freaking afternoon on a Wednesday or Tuesday, getting me all fired up at work. God. And then also including Mr. Ego to get me even more fired up. I wanted to come through the screen. I finally had to turn you guys off because I was mumbling to myself at work and people thought I was crazy. But anyways, this man is my brother from another. I love this dude to death, and happy to be here with him on a Thursday night, as we always are, where he gives me the lead chair. That's right, the man who does own the Fun Speculation Network. At least about 50%, 49%, 51% Caitlin has, but it is the one and only Fun Speculation, aka Mav. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Not bad, man. Yeah, I've been waiting for this show for PM in the PM to be able to talk about all these games and stuff with you, man.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been fun. Like we had a stream this morning. I did a Mavcast the other day where I was after the state of play and Ghost of Yotei was announced. I was kind of like lost my shit after seeing all the discourse online, and then that I kind of took it into Assassin's Creed stuff, and I was just getting sick of all the conversations and stuff. And I know, and you were in the chat and stuff, and I was like, but hey, I love the fact that just in general, you're one of the people that I can talk about this stuff with, and you don't like get all crazy, you know. So
you didn't see me at work yesterday.
But you know, I know that there's like a lot of different people have different thoughts on a lot of that stuff, but it was a fun stream to do. Umbra came in there and hung out with me a little while I was doing the stream. And other than that, man, it's just been really good playing some games. I've been fucking hooked on Aura. I don't even know how many hours I've got into it so far. Probably 10.
Good shit.
Maybe around there. And
you're not a 4X guy. Just remind everybody, he's a strategy guy, but he doesn't do a whole lot of 4X. So this is a new kind of, well, not new because he's played 4X before. But yeah, it's the same, Mav. It's not your usual RTS. Mm-hmm. Like it's a little bit out of your comfort zone because it is. I think I described it. Somebody asked me about it on X when I posted about Aura. Somebody asked me about it because they had just played Age of Mythology, and I said it's like going from being the general of an army in making those types of decisions in an RTS to going and becoming king. Mm-hmm. And you are in charge of the army, you're in charge of the economy, you are in charge of the laws, you are in charge of the religion, you are in charge of everything. That's like the difference. It takes you way back out, really high level stuff. And yet you still got to get granular with it and make those types of decisions too. Love 4X strategy.
It reminds me. of like a
Yeah.
like a Civ on steroids.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, these are the original. A lot of these people are the original Civ devs,
Yeah.
so it makes sense that a lot of that inspiration is from Civ. But they've tried to do different things with Ara. So
yeah, it's definitely different, and I really appreciating it, like how deep it is, how much there is to, and I'm learning as I'm going with this one. This is I'm doing my first. Yeah, I'm trying to understand everything. I know I've made a shit ton of mistakes. I'm in this.
You're supposed to.
I'm in this battle for food right now. It's just trying to figure out my food production and make sure that we're not. I'm keeping my supply up and stuff. So, but ultimately, man, it's been a blast playing this game, dude. That and the other game I've been playing a lot of is Age of Mythology. Just hooked on both, and it's crazy how many of these kinds of games are out. And there was another one I tried this week, which was FragPunk 2, which just hit PC Game Pass also. And that one I absolutely was loving also. I ended up like getting everybody killed, I think, in my first try at the prologue.
You're supposed to.
And
the devs came out and said it, man. They said that you are going to lose your colonies in this game. Like, do not be frustrated. That's a part of the game.
Yeah.
It's part of the learning experience.
So yeah, that I did that and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. But it was fun. Like, it's so good, man. And it's like, but there's that game, there's Ara, then there's, Age, and then I also kind of want to go back to the just regular Age, and play more of Empires. But yeah, there's that. The sports games. There's just so much to play right now. And there's so many games coming around the corner, and more ones that I'm interested in just keep getting announced and actually just randomly dropping into Game Pass and stuff like that today as well. So it's hard to keep up, man. It really, really is. And 2025 even just got crazier with the state of play, and with the delays and stuff. I can't wait.
So, that might be our whole 2-hour conversation. Hey, Matt Booty, we coming, Booty, we coming. No, pause by the way, but yes, that's we coming. 2025. I know. The list of 2025 games is. Holy shit. People started putting out just the big ones. And if Grand Theft Auto makes it next year as well, it's a dumb year next year already. It's crazy.
Oh, I mean, even if you just focus on like the Xbox side, it's crazy.
Yep.
But then if you look at now that we actually have something to look forward to from PlayStation as well, then also the Switch 2 is going to happen next year. And so we know Nintendo's got some stuff, right? And then all these big third parties are slating for 2025 also. So 2025 might be that year that just like causes this massive kind of resurgence with gaming and hopefully conversation as well.
Yeah. I mean, conversation is going to change. So,
I'm so sick of it. So sick.
I'm not going to get into it because we're going to.
I know we'll go on that for 2 hours.
I will personally go on it for 2 hours if I contain myself because I left a lot of that behind. Steele and I certainly have had some discussions where I go into it a little bit, but god damn, man, there's just so it's just. Not everything is a grift. Not everything is dismissed. Not everything is an invalid argument or discussion just because you think it's weird or crazy or whatever. There's some really valid stuff going on in this industry that is not good for the industry. And they need to be talked about. And not everybody talking about it is out here to play everybody else just for money. And I just get so frustrated when people shut down conversations that way just by going to that whole rigmarole. And that goes for both sides. That goes for both sides.
It just dominates too much of the conversation for me these days.
But there's a reason because video games are now a part of pop culture because they now influence the younger generations, Mav. Activists actively came into this industry to influence kids. Actively. Because video games became that important and that huge. When they were just a cool hobby for us back in the 80s and 90s, didn't matter. Like, it was for nerds. Nobody cared. When it became mainstream, it became pop culture, that changes the importance of it, whether you care or don't care, right? Don't matter. There are people who care, including the government, okay, including activists, and they all decided to show up at this doorstep and start taking their swings. So, again, that's kind of what the battle is about. The battle lines have been drawn because video games are now that popular and that influential. Same thing happened with Hollywood. We know what's going on in Hollywood. Same thing happened in the music industry. We know what's going on in the music industry. It's all been come to the light now. So if you don't know what to tell you, but I'm just saying, video games, it's here. It's here now. So those
I just don't care.
I know you don't. I know you don't.
I don't give a shit.
I know you don't, and that frustrates the hell out of me too, because you should, because it's going to be your kids taking over this planet. Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I can't change your mind, so I'm not going to try, because it's just like you and Umbra. I agreed with you guys there. Again, it's pointless anymore to try, because most people aren't going to discuss things in good faith.
And people need to vote with their wallets and stuff. So,
but that's happening, and people are bitching about it. That's happening, and people are bitching about it, man. That's happening.
Well, but okay,
Disney
so
right now with Star Wars, and who gets blamed? Not the people that those movies and TV shows are supposedly made for, who don't show up and watch them, who don't go to the movie theater and buy tickets. Oh, no. They blame the original fans because we're all we're all whatever. We're all the names. We're all the most awful people in the world because we won't come support their bullshit.
I don't know. It's like I don't care who goes and supports or watches something or not, you know.
But that doesn't matter.
But everything's put too much into boxes, and people are put into boxes, and things are put into boxes, and it's like, for me, it's just because something seems some way doesn't always necessarily mean it's that. And
you're correct.
You're correct. Everything.
The well has been poisoned, Mav. And when the well gets poisoned, it affects everybody and everything, whether legit or not legit. When you poison the well, this is what happens. It's awful. So,
but I don't understand what any of that has to do with Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Again, that's beyond a 2-hour conversation, obviously.
It was just what I was talking about yesterday.
I kept trying to give you hints and ideas of what it's all about, because everybody also wants to cut down the argument and just say, oh, it's a bunch of racists out here that just care because the black samurai. That's not, that's one little small group of voices, right? And that's it. That's all that will ever be. There are bigger issues. There are bigger issues going on. And again, I don't even have a problem with Assassin's Creed. I was planning on playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. I don't give a fuck. So, about a lot of it. But there are some people with some valid conversations happening, and people want to dismiss them. So
I'll dismiss the Assassin's Creed Shadow ones. I think those ones are stupid and ridiculous.
Well, then you're telling the Japanese culture that they're stupid.
Yeah. I guess I am. Well,
those rules were laid down, Mav, before this happened, right? Those rules were created, so now everybody's got to play by the rules, right? We a lot of us didn't want those rules, right? A lot of us want the 80s and 90s, like you were talking about, Mav, where everybody got made fun of, nobody gave a shit about any of that kind of stuff, right? A lot of us want that, but the rules are now made. And so once those rules are made, everybody's got to play.
So what should we? But that's my thing. It's like a double standard. We're saying we need to be sensitive, but we don't need to be sensitive,
because that's over.
We need to be inclusive, but we don't need to be inclusive, or we need to be culturally accurate, or we don't need to be culturally accurate. Like, so it's like for me, Assassin's Creed is.
It's forcing the people who put the rules in place to play by those rules. And especially companies, you should never have a problem with people dealing issues with companies. It doesn't matter what it is, because these companies are doing all of this for money reasons. ESG is one of the main reasons why all these companies are doing this bullshit. So, and again, if you don't know what ESG is because you don't care, then you're not going to have any idea about what that is and how that's dictating what businesses do. Correct. Right. But this is all the stuff going on in the background, high level stuff across governments, across all this kind of stuff that is influencing our hobby. It's no longer the innocent video games hobby that we used to love. It's not.
I don't know. I'm enjoying the hell out of it, because there's like a shit ton of stuff for me to play that I just like. It's like, okay, there's like this game, that game, that game, that game, that game, that game. Absolutely. And they're all video games. And like for me, that hasn't changed. Like nothing's really changed for me. I except for the conversations that are happening, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing that I've noticed has changed more than anything is this the conversations more so than the actual games themselves, right?
No, a lot has changed too, but
I mean, there's some instances where you can say, "Oh, that looks
we,
like it was put in there because of this reason or whatever," but nothing that's ever been like, "Oh, this ruins everything for me," you know.
but yeah, no, for right, and I get it. And that's
So
also goes to the point that we've made, Mav, that there's more games out now. So there might be more games that people aren't happy with, but we've always countered, but there is more games that you probably are happy with that are something that you would like, right? So we're getting more of both things.
yeah,
right?
we're getting enough for everybody for any kind of interest. That's what.
Except when they go after the big IPs and when they go after the big, go make any game you want to. Like those little games that fail.
Assassin's Creed is a bad example because this is like specifically for Assassin's Creed Shadows to get they're saying that hey, this is not being 100% accurate to our culture or whatever, right? And or offensive to the culture, whatever. But like, how offensive is so many games to so many different cultures all the damn time? And why does this one have to be
very rare nowadays? Because because the Watch Dogs are out.
But everybody wants the glory days of the 80s and 90s and nobody gave a shit. Also, right? And that everything was culturally offensive back then.
But the rules were made.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Play.
It's like people want it both ways, you know? And it's
one side forced it, so now everybody's got to play by those rules. That's the whole thing. So Mav, I'm telling you, it's because you don't care. You have no idea. This goes back to Gamergate. If you want to say where it started in this industry, it was the first time that this media in this industry applied the same type of propaganda that happens in politics and happens everywhere else in the media. That was the first time it was really applied here in this industry, going back to Gamergate, where they blamed all the gamers and all of a sudden it created this divide where the mainstream journalists hated the majority of gamers. Okay? And that's what started this whole process because they lied. They flat out lied about what happened in Gamersgate. And it became national media. It crossed over.
Right.
Right? And that was right around when Me Too started, right? That's when video games took a leap.
No, it's like a whole culture though. It's not just video. It's like cancel culture and mob culture and it's a whole culture war thing going on.
Yep.
And my whole thing with this has been to both sides for everybody.
Good shit, because I love games.
I know, man. It's everybody. It's just like nobody's going to convince anybody otherwise to change their opinion on things. So it's like the conversation is just taking over the hobby that where I just wish the focus was not about oh my god this game was announced that I love and it's a girl now. Holy shit, that sucks. Oh my god, they have this political opinion on social media, so now we have to try and lump that in with something to do with the game. Oh my god, now we have to go and attack this game. And it's like a person's a person. People have social media now, they put their own thoughts out there, and just because somebody is who they are doesn't necessarily mean that that you're have to believe what they think or believe. And there's stuff in games and some of it can be subtle, some of it can be obvious, but for whatever, people can just decide what they want to buy and not. And ultimately, like, that's what's going to dictate what the companies make. Like these same publishers that are doing this other stuff, they see a game like Space Marine 2 and they be like, oh, okay, we can make something like that and make a shit ton of money, right? And I champion that too, right? But there's no reason that like everybody has to be so sensitive about everything. And that goes for everybody. And it's just like,
there is reasons.
Because let's just get into the fucking having fun, like talking about video games.
It's too late now, but we'd love to go back. We'd love to go back and change everything and not have any of the BS here. But it's here. And it's not going away. Because they're not going away. So again, when that happens, what are you gonna do? So
it's
want to talk about it.
This shit is
you know what I mean. I don't go on huge massive rants. I left a lot of that stuff behind to come here to talk video games. I've expressed my absolute. That's why I hate the console war. I think it's all clown. It's all clowns, right? It doesn't add anything of value at all. So, and I've talked about that, but that's why I don't make my X posts very often anything but pretty positive or pretty neutral. I don't go on big long rants. I don't go after a lot of this stuff like I could. But again, when it's talked about, I have a hard time sitting back having it dismissed too when there is valid reasons. And that's why Steele and I've talked about it a little bit because, you know, like you said, Mav, I got a good group of friends who I can talk about it with. You know, to a certain degree. Again, I won't get into everything because there is a lot of stuff. You can get really deep into it, and that's not what I'm here to do. But I think every once in a while it is valid. But I'm just saying that I wish it was all different too. I wish none of this stuff occurred. But it all is, and it's not going anywhere. So these conversations are going to continue to happen because both sides want to have a voice, and both sides believe that they're extremely right. And both sides are going to try to fight for it because that's what happened.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be in the middle and be like, can everybody shut the fuck up about all this stuff so we can like actually get to be excited about this game that looks great.
I tried that with the console wars and it doesn't work. So
Yeah.
I was told to shut up too. So about the console wars. So I had no right to say anything. So hey, it is what it is. Anyways, love you all. Thanks. We got a little bit of that again. I didn't plan on getting into that. It was funny because I was at work mumbling to myself. I had to mention it to Mav because I was ready. I was wishing
I knew you were. And I know how you feel about that conversation too. You know, so it's but like at the same time, I just gotta say, what if I felt compelled at the time to go live because I'm like, what the fuck's happening? And I just see all this conversation and it's like, I just want to be excited for the games that were announced.
I understand the issue is when you jump into that, Mav, and you don't have because you've kept yourself out of it because you don't have a care for it, so you don't have a grasp of the reason.
But the reason it doesn't bother me is because I don't care enough to go and read about all this shit and focus on it.
But I'm saying, it's like. But when you jump into it then, right, you sound very dismissive as if it's all just bullshit, right?
No, there's things for sure that are legitimately forced, right?
But there was stuff yesterday that you were completely dismissing, and then when Umbra came on, you agreed with him that there's just a bunch of grifters out here trying to grip.
Well, there's a lot of people that are just out there trying to make money on it.
Very few.
Like the Grums guy, and then
he's not. He's not. He's legit.
Oh, that guy, that same guy that did the Starfield screen thing.
Absolutely.
That guy is a fucking joke,
nope.
man.
That
guy.
But his discussions are valid. His discussions are valid in a lot of ways.
That guy's proven to be a grifter for his account based on the other posts that he's been doing within the console wars stuff. Like that guy is ridiculous.
Again, it's easy to do that. You just shut somebody out.
I just go based
that's
on
what happens. No, that's what people do, though, man. You have to understand. That's what people do.
His Starfield start student screen or whatever was legitimate.
Oh no, he was going after Microsoft. Oh, absolutely. No. He's cutting down Xbox. Oh, 1000%.
Okay.
Of course, he was playing into that. But again, this is exactly what the Star Wars fans try to do to people who are critical of Star Wars. Oh, you're just nothing but grifters. That's the new thing. And again, like I said, you are outside. Like, I don't blame you. Like, you don't care, so you don't know any of this stuff. I'm just telling you, that's how you shut down conversations. That's one of the ways people shut down conversations now. Just calling everybody grifters.
Not everybody, but there are a lot of them out there.
But people have legitimately called other people who are legitimately not grifters.
Grums is a grifter, 100%. And all of his posts that he's making before, you could go back and all this other stuff.
I don't agree with him, but
you can tell that his stuff is there just purely to be 100% controversial, over the top, right? Yeah. And that is meant to be like for engagement. Right, and his latest stuff I don't even care to look at because he's already proven who he is on those other posts.
Okay,
so
fair enough. Again, I'm not gonna change your mind. So it is what it is. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Like I said, it ain't going nowhere. So I'm sure we'll have some more Mavcasts down the line with some more Mav rants about this stuff.
Just when people freak out because there's a female protagonist in a game, like when when a culture of a country is trying to cancel a certain a game because it's offensive to them, but there's like tons of games that are offensive and have things like that in them about tons of other countries and stuff like that. Like, it's just why pick and choose and uber ultra focus on specific things when really they don't really affect anybody. It's just a video game.
Or if that was the case, then we wouldn't have the activists here.
Well, I don't agree with the people standing and like blocking traffic in streets and stuff for no damn reason. Like, there's like two sides are way too far like extreme, and like I'm just sit there in the middle and just like, everybody shut the fuck up. Like can we just like enjoy this stuff?
No.
Companies are gonna try and make money. These big corporations, and you don't have to like everything they do, and you can choose what to buy and not to buy, right? There's plenty of stuff for every kind of gamer out there. Same thing with movies, same things with TV shows and stuff.
Right.
And we don't have to like it all, but
Mav.
But there's some people that do like that stuff.
But
so
Mav,
it's
let
like,
me bring it back to this. You're telling me my original fandom of Star Wars does not fucking matter, and I just need to move on, even though I personally have made that decision, right? I've told you that. I've been real. No, I've been real about that.
Yeah.
My original fandom of Star Wars doesn't fucking matter and shouldn't fucking matter, because Kathleen Kennedy can she do whatever she wants to do, and she can go make whatever she wants to make, and if you don't like it, just don't like it.
Disney's a business, and they're going to try and make money, and they're going to make mistakes, and they're going to make good decisions too.
No, like, I'm asking specifically about my fandom and my opinion of Star Wars growing up.
No, you can say
Star Wars fan.
You can feel however you want about it, but like ultimately, like,
but I shouldn't speak out on it, right? And I shouldn't.
I never said that.
Well, you said let's all move on.
No, I said if somebody announces a female character in a video game, can we not like freak out about it? It has nothing to do with you not liking Star Wars.
No. But I have already said that reason is because the well is poisoned now. Because of the legitimate stuff that has happened, one side pushing extreme one way, every time something comes out now, the other side is going to push back. Whether or not it's legit, whether or not it is a part of this side is still going to push back because the entire well has been poisoned. And that's what causes that back and forth, right? So you standing in the middle is totally cool, right? Again, I had zero problem with you staying out of it.
Some people have an issue with that because they call you a fence sitter. You know, you're the worst kind of person because you don't have an opinion about anything. You just sit there and just judge everybody for acting all ridiculous.
Yep.
And you know what? I'm happy to be that person because I'm sitting there just trying to enjoy my shit, and I just want everybody to get along and be happy and enjoy the things that they want to enjoy, and let other people enjoy the things that they want to enjoy. But unfortunately, there's this war going back and forth, and I'm just like watching all these people yell at each other and create these like mobs and arguments and stuff and say all this shit all the time. When I'm just sitting there, be like, okay, yeah, well, that's great. Well, you're fucking getting this game delayed now that I was excited for, or now that this thing is going to be ruined because this crowd didn't like what they had to say about it, or now that this crowd is getting all pissy about this, and now this is whole other drama talking, and we can't even talk about the fucking game anymore because everybody's just arguing about something fucking stupid that nobody actually really ultimately really cares about too much, right? Like,
it has major implications. So, and Caitlin, it would be great if we could all do that, and I'm totally in agreement with you all as far as that goes. If I had my choice, I would want everybody to care about this stuff because it does have great implications.
But that's never going to happen.
So right, it's not, and that's why I say, Mav. Like, again, there are people who legitimately in this community that I certainly would be friends with, that if we ever got into deep discussions on certain topics, they would hate me and never speak to me again. You know how sad that is? And again, you, me, the fam, all of us, there might be even family members who do it, but all of us, most of us could sit down and have these conversations, not live, but somewhere else, and have deep conversations. And I still would love you guys the same, even if we walked away completely disagreeing on everything. Like, again, that's the way it used to be, but anymore it's not that way, right? And that's why I don't do this very often at all, because again, I came here to talk about video games. So we are going to move on, chat. Don't worry about it. Again, I didn't mean it to turn into this, but this topic, you can say it should not matter. It does. Whether you're neutral or whether you actually start learning about it and pick a side, doesn't matter. It has great implications because video games are a part of mainstream pop culture with a lot of influence.
Yeah.
It has major implications.
And people can choose what to ignore or buy that they want. And ultimately, it's going to be up to the person. And the same implications are also, I think, for some people that actually enjoy that kind of stuff, right? So it's interesting conversation. Obviously, not everything is made for every individual person that has a certain view of how they think the world is, right? Mm-hmm. And ultimately, the companies are going to try and do what they can to make the most money. And that's the world we live in. And thankfully enough, there's enough TV shows, movies, and video games out there that are for me and the kind of shit that I like, that I don't have to worry about the stuff that's not for me.
That's
right.
Awesome. And that's great. If you like that, that's
and amazing. If something ruins a franchise and IP that I love, I'll rant about it and talk about it and stuff. Yeah, sure. But like, ultimately, I don't lump everything into the same box. That's the thing, right?
Okay. Fair enough. Where was I, anyways? I guess I was going to get to what I've been playing this week. Yes, we are going to talk about games, and we're going to get into State of Play and TGS because all the good stuff that happened this week. And like Mav, I'm overwhelmed. I made a post on X this week about the games, right? And I'm a grazer. You guys all know that. Like, I'm used to juggling 10 and 12 different games at a time at moments, and I don't have a problem. Like, that's never an issue for me. But it is now, with the onslaught of games that we have gotten over this past month, I can't decide what I want to play. That's my problem. I have such a big list, I can't decide which one, because I want to touch all of them. Normally, when I'm grazing, like one or two will stand out. When I sit down to play, I'm like, oh yeah, let's hop back into this. Cool. Now, it's like every single game is standing out to me. Every single freaking game is something that I'm freaking excited about. So I did pick up Lollipop Chainsaw Repop, as I told you all I would. So I did wind up picking up that. Played through first 2 levels, I want to say, maybe, or 1.5, 2 levels, whatever it was. Julia is back. My God, I bought it on PC, right? So I picked it up on PC. It is freaking so well done. I'm playing the original version now. It does not have the original soundtrack, which sucks. Because if anybody remembers, the original soundtrack was full of very popular bands from back then. And it kind of made the game in a lot of ways because the soundtrack was damn good, right? So it doesn't have the original soundtrack. But everything else is there. And they didn't censor themselves. They didn't change anything. It's freaking ridiculously good. And it is so much fun. It controls better than it ever has before. It's not perfect, right? There's still bugs here and there that I picked up on. It's not perfect. But as original OG who owns the OG Chainsaw Lollipop game, I couldn't be happier with this version. Like the fact that this version exists and I can pop it on my PC and play it in glorious max settings at 60 plus frames, like, it is freaking awesome. So Lollipop Chainsaw has been one. Then I picked up an indie game that's been out for a while on Epic, but it finally dropped on Steam in early access. It was a Epic exclusive for a bit. This is Witchfire. You guys probably remember this was shown at a couple showcases. It probably will eventually come to consoles. It is a first-person roguelike, I guess is the best way to put it. But it is made in Unreal Engine 4, I want to say, with all the bells and whistles that 4 can give you. And again, this is a single developer, close to a single developer. This game, I only touched it a little bit because I just picked it up the other day. And again, my weeks, I don't have a lot of time to play games anymore. So I just touched it a little bit, but holy shit, I can already see how cool this game is going to be. Witchfire, I've been watching all the videos on it, so I kind of knew what I was jumping into. But my God, when I started flipping through, they got he's got like 6 or 7 different classes that you get to choose from, and you're hunting down demons. And basically, you got to decide when you extract out of areas carrying loot. If you die, the loot stays there. You got to decide whether or not you want to go back to rescue it, if it's worth it or not. There's a whole skill system in there. There's all leveling up. There's loot galore. There's crafting. There is everything that you would expect out of this game. And this game is still early access, but it just dropped into Steam this week. Well worth it. I think I paid $34 because it's on sale right now. $33.99, I think. I might be wrong. It might be $35, but anyways, Witchfire, oh my God. This is now, I've been waiting on this game. I was like, oh, screw it. I'll just pick it up, support the dev. Oh, freaking awesome. And of course, I picked up those 2 games because I got 2 games in Game Pass, right? So I got Aura, like Mav was talking about. I played for like an hour and a half of Aura in the prologue. Immediately, I made a post about it. Like early on, like Mav said, it feels a lot like freaking Civ. But my God, do the graphics pop off the screen. I saw some reviewers say the graphics weren't anything special. Excuse me. I was like, I have played a few 4X games in my life. I don't know what looks better than this. I haven't seen too many. Yes, there's been some really beautiful ones. Age of Wonder 4, which came out this 2 years ago? No, a year and a half ago. Jesus, when did I pick up that? Age of Wonders 4. Anyways, that's beautiful, but not to the detail that's in this game, especially the realistic kind of detail. I was moving around the map, finding all sorts of different kind of animals and watching them roam around and that kind of stuff. I was watching my workers work on the farm and build a bunch of stuff, and there's just little details that I haven't seen before. So this game pops off the screen immediately. Oxide did a nice job here. It is definitely already, I can tell, more complex, and I did reread the reviews on this because I want to see why some people had problems with it. Deep systems, deep crafting systems. When you start actually producing different goods and what you can make with them, it is very deep compared to some 4X, and they tried some new things. Now, some people didn't like them. I haven't gotten far enough to tell you whether or not I like them. Some people didn't like them. They said it got a little too complex or a little bit too confusing, and didn't make sense sometimes what you could make with what materials. But some people really liked it. And so this is one of the things. And I love the same time turn with all your enemies. When you end turn, everybody's turn goes, and then you're right back to it again. That is freaking amazing, right? And I can only imagine a multiplayer, how that's going to speed up the game itself, because obviously before you got to wait for everybody's turn, and even when you were playing against AI, like in Civ, you would have to wait there, and it would say AI moving, or whatever, enemy moving, whatever the case may be. It just happens, and you're right back, and you get to make your decisions right there, and you get to start your next round. So that already I am absolutely in love with too. So Aura, like Mav said, I can already feel the time slipping away in that game. That game is definitely going to be on the docket constantly. The other one, like Mav said, FragPunk 2. Now, I played a little bit more, I think, than Mav did at FragPunk 2. I didn't kill off, but again, I had gone back to FragPunk 1 and played a little bit, got my bearings a little bit. This one is completely different. FragPunk 2, you're making big-time decisions. Before, it was much more intimate. It was you and your little colony, right? And there's something about that is special because every little person, fake person in your colony, you kind of got to know. And you kind of felt attached to, and you didn't want to kill them off, right? So there's something about that. FragPunk 2 takes that and times it out by like 50, 100. Now you're controlling thousands of people, right? Thousands of people are underneath your welfare. Your decisions make or break the entire colony. And you're going to have to sacrifice some people. And you're going to have to make decisions that aren't easy. Like putting kids to work. Actually, in the new one, in FragPunk 2, I had to mandate schools because I had a bunch of kids running around causing trouble because they didn't have anything to do. So then I had to create a law that mandated they go to school to cut down on all the crime. So it is different than FragPunk 1, but my God, is the game gorgeous. And the music in FragPunk 2, let me tell you, the soundtrack, yo, right away, every little piece that comes through, like depending on the situation, depending on where you are, is absolutely beautiful. Frostpunk 2's music is off the charts. But the game itself, the graphics, again, talking about R and their attention to detail, I posted some screenshots and I posted some video of Frostpunk 2. The minute details in these little cities as they're building them up, and it's got a steampunk look to it. If you've never played Frostpunk before, it's got the steampunk feel to it. As they build out their city and they got these machines walking around, they got these stilted machines, with steam coming out of them. You got these big generators, moving parts. It is freaking incredible. Like the craftsmanship that these devs went to put in all of that little stuff, and just even the background, the ambient sound in the background while the music's playing, of the city coming to life, of people yelling out, of work going on. Man, oh man, different level in Frostpunk 2. These devs could have sat back. 11-bit studio, shout out to 11-bit, not 3-bit. 3-bit's the cause for all the problems Mav and I were just talking about. We don't talk about 3-bit studios, but we're talking about 11-bit studios here. 11-bit studios. They did an awesome, freaking fantastic job taking what they learned from Frostpunk 1 and applying that and saying, we're not going to just be safe. We're not going to just make another little intimate Frostpunk game. No. We're going to make a big one. We're going to go out of our way to do something massive. And that's exactly what they did. And they did it to a whole nother level. And it is freaking amazing. So shout out to Frostpunk 2. And then I also have Squirrel with a Gun. I picked up Squirrel with a Gun for $10. Freaking fun ass little freaking game. It's got too much platforming for me, but my God, I love squirrels. Squirrel with a Gun is freaking awesome. It doesn't take itself seriously. It is what it is. It's just a fun jaunt, collecting things, doing crazy stunts and shit, right? It's kind of like Goat Simulator, but really peeled back Goat Simulator. But you got to do little missions to collect acorns, gold acorns and shit. That's freaking awesome. That's in my rotation. Space Marine 2 PvP. I finally got to sit down with Steel last weekend and play some PvP. Space Marine 2. You want to talk about going back to the basics? Okay, Space Marine 2 is now solidly number 2 on my list for Game of the Year. Okay, it's going to take a lot to touch this thing. Space Marine 2's PvP is just fun as hell. It is going back to simpler times. It is not trying to get crazy. It is not trying to reinvent the wheel. In fact, we're going from putting rubber on the wheel nowadays to we're going back to wood wheels, okay, with this game. It takes you straight back. No fluff. Just get in and go kick some ass. That's all it's about. And yes, there's only 3 maps, but I didn't get tired of the maps. It was fun as hell. We were just having a good time. Quick respawns, right? And each class makes a difference. Each class does play to its abilities. You can only have 2 people of the same class on a team. So there is strategy involved. Space Marine 2 PvP, freaking awesome. Again, hats off to Saber and Focus for creating one of the best Warhammer game that's probably been ever created. And this one that's going to take it to the next level where we're going to get more Warhammer games. Then obviously Age of Mythology, still rocking on that. Like Mav said, doesn't get much better than that. And of course, Metaphor, Refantasio. The demo dropped last night. Played 20 minutes of it. Got through the opening to get to the city. Holy shit. Atlas has another winner. A brand new IP that is going to become a major franchise. This is going to be big. I think this could be something, Mav. And I don't know. Did you say you tried this yet?
I haven't had a chance to. No. I did have a chance, but I was just playing Aura.
Okay, and that's perfectly fine.
Right. But I want to play it. Dude, I was at TGS. I saw the trailer. I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be amazing. Yeah.
I'm blown away. Psycho was in our DMs talking about him being blown away. Like that whole thing that I've been praising, the UI itself being artwork and like, oh my God, what do they do here? That's all throughout the game. And the whole game looks like living artwork. Now, I've used that a couple of times to describe games. I don't use it all the time, but this is one of those. Like the Skybox, shout out to 3-bit, the Skybox 3-bit looks like it was painted by Picasso as you're moving around. Legitimately looks like a painting. And they've got these, the tones that they use, the colors that they use, they're muted, but when they're put together, they just work. Like, it's the strangest. Like, I'm going, is this game just dark or is it me? But I can see every detail. Everything looks great. And then I move to a new area. And I'm like, holy shit, no. It looks fucking bright now. Like, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's just different. But the acting, I got it on Japanese voices, obviously using subtitles, English subtitles. The Japanese acting, phenomenal. Again, don't know what they're saying because I don't know Japanese. But I can read subtitles. But I'm just saying the expression, how anime usually happens, that's what you get. This is full-blown Atlas, top of the line, AAA. This is Persona level quality production here. They didn't skimp anything. This is their new Persona series. This is freaking amazing. Music, holy shit, there's some unique takes on music in this too already that I've heard. With some background chanting and some just really cool stuff that I haven't heard done before. Metaphor Refantasio could be a big game this year. I saw some other people trying it out saying the same damn shit. Like, this is it. Like, wow, Atlas has got another one. I can't disagree from the little bit I've played. The intro anime sequence, because I got anime, of course, to support it, to do all the cutscenes. It's all anime. Top level anime. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Gripping story already about what's going on. Gotta say, if you haven't tried it yet, the whole prologue's downloadable. And another one, just like Unicorn Overlord, where your demo progress will carry over to the full game. So, go check it out. All right. Just a freaking blast. Again, I told you, I've been freaking trying everything.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to try, man.
No, Caitlin, that's why they've got the choice. And that's why they got subtitles. So we're not. Otherwise, that would be bad. I've tried to learn, though. I have tried to learn. I really did want to learn for a long, long time. All right, everybody, real quick. We're going to shout the chat out real quick, and then we're going to get on to talking about all this gaming goodness over State of Play and TGS. I know not everybody's going to agree with the State of Play. Not everybody's going to agree with TGS. I saw a lot of discourse about TGS, the Xbox side of things, whether or not it was good. But we're going to talk about it because there was lots of sweet-ass shit in both, for me at least. So we'll see where Mav's at, too. Caitlin's in the house, the beautiful Miss Caitlin. Again, thank you, Caitlin, for the thumbnail. As always, just absolutely freaking amazing. AJH is in here. What's going on, AJH? We got the Masshole 1977 coming in with the golden age of gaming. That's right, it is. We got the Sousa in the house. What's going on, Sousa? He says, I always presumed Pong was fluent in Japanese. No, sir. I wish. I did really at one time try. Didn't happen. I've never been good at languages. Cyber Gunter. What's going on, Cyber Gunter? We got the Poison Maniac in the house. What's going on, Poison? Calorie, what's going on? He said he finished up the Metaphor demo this morning, just under 5 hours. Good for you, Calorie. Ooh, that's a beefy demo. I love that. Can't wait to get back into it again. Def Leopard's in the house. What's going on, Def? Nah, Omar's in the house saying knowing Japanese is Steele's bag, Pog. Yo, okay, listen. Steele even admits he doesn't know Japanese, but he can certainly do the accent to call out the names better than I can. That's for damn sure. Nah, we know that. I love how he does that shit. Let's see who else. We got the Black John is in here. What's going on, Black John? Always great to see you as well. We got the Poison Maniac in here. What's going on, Poison? Great to see you. Who else is in here? We've got scrolling up. We got the Shane G. What's going on, Shane G? Xbox moved Avowed to spread out Game Pass content to avoid their own things and let Stalker, Indie Flight Sim, Call of Duty breathe. That had nothing to do with third party. Don't agree, Shane G, but that's cool, man. Don't agree, but it doesn't matter. They got their wish. Now Avowed gets to be surrounded by a lot of games again. So, again, I'd rather be playing it in November, so whatever. But that's okay, Shane. It is what it is. Decision's been made, but we're coming for some booty. Pause. Punty050. What's going on, Punty? Great to see you, sir. We got the Jason Max in the house. What's going on, Jason? BT Maverick 707. Thank you so much for joining us. Sanchez MTZ Gaming. What's going on? Great to see you. No, you never have to pick a side, Sanchez. You can just play your games. Absolutely. That's what I do most of the damn time. Blind Mephisto's in the house. What's going on, Blind? Great to see you. Who else we got? We got Mongoose Mall in here. What's going on, Mongoose Mall? Great to have you part of the show. Thanks for dropping in here. Who else? We got Mitchie Dies a Lot. What's going on, Mitchie? Great to see you as well. Who else? I got the Brett Bingham in the house. What's going on, Brett? Always awesome to have you part of the show, sir. Who else we got in here? Mr. Waffles is in the house. What's going on, Mr. Waffles? Great to see you in here as well. Who else we got in here? Let's see here. We got James Thomas in the house. What's going on, James? Cyber Gunter. I think I already shouted you out, brother. Great to see you as well. God Emperor Sofa King. What's going on, God Emperor? Alvin. What's going on, Alvin? Great to see you a part of the show. Alvin came with the $5 super chat as well. So surprise of the day. The PS5 Pro is still available right now. Hasn't sold out. Come on, join me. Listen, Alvin, I don't know why people thought that thing was going to be sold out. We talked about this. No, they're making money on all of it, man. That's what they're doing. Who else we got in the house here? We got Back from the Dead going on. What's going on, Back? Always awesome to have you in the show, brother. We got Coach Hooded Canuck. What's going on, Coach? Great to see you, sir, as well. Going up. We got the Fuzzy Tomato in house. Not the Fuzzy Belvedere, but the Fuzzy Tomato is here. What's going on, Fuzzy? Great to see you as well. We got the Stone King X. What's going on, Stone King? Great to see you as a part of the show as always, man. RSJ fan, thank you for joining us, my friend. Verg Brizzle, what is going on, Verg? Great to see you in here as well. We got Moggs E in here. What's going on, Moggs? Night Turtle. What is happening, Night Turtle? What's going on? We got the Andrew Cullinane in the house. What's going on, Andrew? Great to see you as well, sir. Who jumped into the bottom? Roberto Z. What's going on, Roberto? Great to have you in here as well. Man Overboard. I see you as well. Great name, by the way. Man Overboard. Let's see. Somebody throw him a life preserver. Yep, I think I got everybody. Joe Money. Joe Mo Money. What is going on? Choo-choo, motherfucker. Choo-choo to you as well. All right. Let's get into this conversation, Mav. So let's start with the state of play. That's right, everybody. Still no showcase, right, Mav? No showcase?
But no, if this is their bigger state of play meant to replace the fact that they don't have a showcase this year.
Maybe.
I mean,
whispering December.
No,
so
it's the whole secret December showcase. Yeah, the Game Awards are in December or November or December, right? They'll have some stuff there. They're not going to do like a showcase while they are going to use the Game Awards as their other showcase.
Yep. But the fact is, Matt, we were talking about remastering the roadmap last week, right?
Yes.
At least they gave us at least one more piece to the roadmap, right? At least we got one of the pieces, right? Kind of.
Yeah, I'm happy it was for 2025 too.
Yes, it was. It was in addition to 2025. So let's talk about the state of play here. Now, again, some of you think this thing was horrible, absolutely awful. Some people think it was meh, and few people think it was pretty good or too good, right? So we're going to talk about this here. But let's start off. Again, we're not going to jump into all of this stuff, right? So I'll run through everything that was announced, and then I'll go back, Mav, and if you want to pick out a couple things that you kind of caught your attention and kind of what you thought about the show and how they did it, the presentation, and obviously the flow. This is going to be out of order. I don't know why PlayStation Blog themselves would put this out of order, but whatever. I hate when they do that. They should put it in the order that's in. But anyway, so we start out with Astrobot coming to play with brand new DLC, which was free. That was awesome. I'm never going to complain about free DLC, right? That's freaking dope. So Astrobot showed up again and said, yeah, we're going to bring some DLC to you guys free later this year. I think it's coming like in November or something like that, or maybe even October. And we got Ghost of Yotei, which of course is something that Mav and I already kind of touched on a little bit in the beginning, but Ghost was the big puzzle piece to the roadmap that we did get, which was actually kind of shocking. I didn't think they were going to bring anything like this. I thought it was going to be remasters, but I am the one, a lot of us have been calling out that Ghost 2 had to be close. Like that Sucker Punch had to be holding its card and that was ready to show at some point. They decided to show it here, Mav, at the end of the show, the way to end the show off. And it's shocked a lot of people because it isn't technically Ghost 2. It's actually set 300 years later after Jin, even though they kind of set up Jin's story at the end to continue. They've moved on. And a lot of people who love Jin, and I wasn't the biggest Jin fan either. Again, I want to keep playing Ghosts, but I've got, 50, 60 hours in Ghosts already. Jin as a character really hasn't done much for me at all. But there are a lot of people who connected with Jin. And so they want to continue that story. This is going to be a whole new, as Mav said earlier, female protagonist with a whole different storyline. 300 years later. But my God, they showed more than I thought they would show. Lots of different locations, locales. Beautiful, look gorgeous. Doesn't look like it's going to reinvent the wheel. Looks like they're taking what they have in Ghost 1 and just ramping it up a little bit, but making a brand new game, which is cool. Again, this is how you cut down on time spent, and this is how you cut down on costs. So, Ghosts of Yotei, I'll get Mav's thoughts there. I know he'll bring it up. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. Obviously, that was already out in the wild as a done deal. It showed up here, sure enough. I mean, if you're going to... Does it make sense to me? No. $10 upgrade? Okay, fine. Doubling the price today, if you don't own it, weird and typical Sony to raise the price on something like the original to grab more money. Doing a lot of work? Yeah. Making everything match to Forbidden West level in Zero Dawn, going back and redoing character models and stuff. Okay, that's work, right? Is it needed though? No, but it's here. So it's coming. So that is going to be October 31st for both PS5 and PC, and the $10 upgrade has been confirmed to be for both PC and PS5. So if you have not picked up Zero Dawn, and you think that you're going to want to, I've thought about it a couple times. I haven't yet. It is still in the key shops. If you want to go find GG Deals and find key shop, and you don't mind trusting a key shop for $10. So you can still get Zero Dawn for $10, and you'll have a $10 upgrade to the new one. So just letting you guys know that. Then they had a new Lego Horizons Adventures trailer come out. And then they had the, of course, Mark Cerny coming back to talk about the PS5 Pro again. And, of course, showing off some more games, which included some other games that we hadn't seen before, right? So, once again, pumping the PS5 Pro, announcing that the pre-sales would go live, today, which is what everybody was doing, right? For both the limited edition and, of course, the regular PS5 Pro as well. So that happened. And then we had the Chroma collection, which was new PS5 skins, PS5 skins and controller skins. And then we got an announcement for PlayStation Plus, Mav, which was, again, they announced October games.
Yeah, WWE
2K24, Dead Space, Doki Doki, and Last of Us Part 1 remasters.
Yeah.
Be in there. So... Again, like I said, it's the weirdest.
But this was really celebrated too.
Yes.
The WWE one's actually pretty cool because the other one's like, oh my god, yeah, The Last of Us is like.
You guys all own this like 3-4 times. Like I don't like you guys have legit like you PlayStation only fans have legit bought Last of Us like 3-4 times. You know you have. You probably played it 5 or 6 times. It's not going to be any different because it's in PlayStation Plus. Okay, but anyways, what else? It's there. I wonder how long it's going to stay there. That'll be the real key. Then we got some VR stuff. We got the Lake House. Alan Wake. Oh no, wait. Was this actually VR? No, this was not VR. This was actual expansion.
Yeah,
right?
That one's an expansion.
The Lake House Alan Wake 2 expansion. Yeah, so that is just an expansion that's coming. So they gave a tease of that. I don't even know if we got a date on that. Is it 2025? I'm pretty sure. I don't even know if it's this year or not. Then we got a cool RPG. Now, this RPG has actually been around for a while. I didn't recognize it at all, but ArcAge, and this is ArcAge Chronicles. And I had not recognized that this was actually a series. This is from a studio that's actually been around for a long ass time in Korea. I went and looked them up real quick just to see who they were. They've been around since like early 2000s, like, or more. Like, it's crazy. But they are bringing ArcAge Chronicles, and this is the one that everybody was kind of a little bit unsure of whether or not it was going to be an exclusive, console exclusive, or whether or not it was coming to Xbox. Been confirmed, coming to Xbox. So this looks like cool Western RPG done by Eastern devs. You know what I'm talking about. Looks like got that Dragon's Dogma flavor to it, right? But we also found out that up to 10 players are going to be able to play. So it's kind of an MMO. Some people are saying it is an MMO. I'm like, if it's only limited to 10, can we really call it an MMO? But it is truly, that's pretty good amount of players. So anyways, but ArcAge Chronicles got announced, and it looks kind of really cool. That's coming out in 2025. That one caught my attention for sure. We got a new Dragon Age Veilguard Blighted Dragon trailer, which I'm sure Bav might touch on because he's super excited for Dragon Age as well. So that showed up here. Then we had Dynasty Warriors Origins, which of course Sony's been pumping now for a couple shows, which this is the first time where you're kind of an unknown warrior. You're kind of a created warrior, not one of the famous ones. And supposedly the battles, I'm a Musu fan. Played a ton of Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, Orochi, a lot. Okay. I love these games. This is also coming to Xbox. They had a new trailer. Looks good. Looks like Dynasty Warriors, but maybe a little bit better than they have in the past. This is coming January 17th, 2025. Fantasian Neo Dimension, which we also had the announcement for, and this is by the godfather of Final Fantasy, one of my favorite JRPG devs of all time, directors of all time, Sakaguchi himself. And this is his game that has already been out. I believe it's been out on mobile in the East for a while now. He is bringing this game to consoles, including Xbox. But Fantasian Neo Dimension, he came on screen, talked about this, etc. Love this look. It's on the lines of a classic JRPG with some updating to current day stuff. There's some new mechanics in there as well. I will always support Sakaguchi, so I was happy to see this, and it looked really good. Fantasian Neo Dimension. Then we had Fear the Spotlight. That's right, Fear the Spotlight. It looked kind of cool. This is for PS5 and PS4. Halloween time, launching October 22nd. That one is also coming to Xbox as well. Xbox did their usual now post afterwards saying, oh, by the way, all these games are coming to Xbox. So Fear the Spotlight coming out October 22nd. We got a Fortnite custom controller, right? Celebration. They're bringing split screen mode to Lego Fortnite this October, which is the big announcement. And the DualSense wireless controller limited edition launches.
Whether it's Micah and DeMarcus, whether it's CD.
Yes, that's right. Another new IP. This is from Nacon. Nacon's been crushing it, by the way. Nacon is freaking amazing right now. They got a lot of games in the pipeline. Hell Is Us is a hardcore RPG. Still trying to find out whether or not this is actually a
Marcus,
Souls-like,
whether it's
or if it is just a straight up, just more action RPG, but just more difficult, because according to Okami today, Okami13 _ on X, who's awesome for information, he kind of broke down Hell Is Us. Third person action adventure game, no map, no compass, no quest markers. I'm cool with all of that. I can deal with that stuff. Just not the Souls-like combat. Looked Soulsy, and I know, Mab, I think you said you thought it looked Soulsy too, but maybe not, because he doesn't mention it here. Focus on exploration and environmental storytelling set in a war-torn country where a mysterious disease has given rise to supernatural creature. Paying attention to what the NPCs tell you is crucial. Multiple paths leading to the solution. Fight with swords, axes, spears, and drone companion. Deep dive showcase coming September 30th. So Hell Is Us was revealed, and this is also coming to Xbox as well. Lots of good multi-plats here. Hitman 2, PSVR 2. Big one also got leaked, and we kind of knew about it earlier, Matt, from actual Gamescom when somebody took a picture of the statues. We actually talked about this on our shows, let everybody know that this was potentially a thing. Then we got the smoke that this was a thing, and then the PlayStation blog actually launched it earlier or said something early, and okay. But Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered announcement trailer happening. That's right, December the 10th. Yo, if you have not played Soul Reaver, no, they are not going back and remaking this game. It is a remaster. However, from what I saw, they did a nice job upgrading. It is a Spire. So 50-50 shot here, folks. We know what happened when they just redid Battlefront. Not good. I'm crossing my fingers this is a good one because a lot of people should go back and play Soul Reaver. If nothing else, just for the story itself. Okay, so but Soul Reaver 1 and 2 is freaking amazing that it's coming back out again. I am definitely going to be hopping back into this game and playing both of them again. Freaking unbelievable. Then, Mav, we got another nostalgia-filled. Oh, this is so good. One of my favorite JRPGs. I've talked about this, probably talked about it here, but no, I talked about it on Living Split Screen when it's been brought up on This Day in Gaming with Steel. One of my favorite JRPG series of all time from back in the day. Lunar. Lunar is so freaking good. If you have any love for JRPGs and you are too young to have ever played the original Lunar series, or just never got around to them because there was a lot of fantastic JRPGs back then and you just never got around or had time to jump into them, jump into this collection. The Lunar Remastered Collection is coming to celebrate 25 years. It is coming to Xbox as well. It looks gorgeous. And if you are any type of JRPG fan, I implore you to check this out. If you still like that style, if it's not, again, some people have outgrown the old school JRPGs, and that's totally cool. I get it, man. I really do. I can't play them like I used to when I got all this other stuff to play. But Lunar is definitely worth your while. And then we had Metro Awakening VR. I should say, when is Lunar coming out? I think Lunar's coming out later this year too, is it not? No, spring of 2025. Excuse me, spring of 2025. Metro Awakening VR looks scary as hell. No VR, thank you. Anyways, new Monster Hunter Wilds trailer. I've been sold on this game for months. I continue to be sold on Monster Hunter Wilds. I've already told Steel I'm hopping in with him prior to this coming out. He's going to teach me how to play Monster Hunter at a higher level because I am going to be committed to Monster Hunter Wilds. This continues to look fantastic. And then we had Pal World announcement with the coming to PS5, and it dropped same day, which was dope. Pal World, same day, PS5, let's go. So that was awesome. And then we had the Stellar Blade DLC for Nier Automata to be joining Stellar Blade. Of course. Just waiting on the PC version. Let's go. Then we had the Midnight Walk, a little indie game, which was kind of dope. This is from the developers of Lost in Random, which I think, Mav, you played that too. I think we talked about that because I played that. That was that weird dice game, Lost in Random.
I haven't played that one yet.
You have not played that one? Okay. I could have swore I talked about it with you. Lost in Random was a dope little game. But go check out the Midnight Walk. Looks super, super cool. That is coming to PS5 and PSVR 2 spring of 2025. Turtles, Shredder's Revenge new DLC. That is coming out. Radical Reptiles. That dropped same day. That had gotten kind of leaked too as well. We had Sonic X Shadow Generations, of course. And there's some kind of exclusive cutscenes for PlayStation, I think. Something that I read, like something weird. Like you'd never think that would be exclusive, but it is. But Sonic X Shadow Generations, all the Shadow fans, looks pretty dope. And then Towers of Agab. I knew I was going to screw this one up. Aghazba, which we had seen previously as well. I think actually at the Xbox, one of the Xbox shows. This is a dope little indie game too, with gliding, crafting, kind of farming sim, building up your city. It looks pretty cool in a lot of ways. So that was the entire state of play. Math, what did you pull out of this one, brother? What did you like? What caught your attention?
Ghost of Yotei.
Yep.
I'm just gonna be like flat out honest. and say that's really the only thing that I saw that was like, oh, yeah, that's really, I want to play that. I mean, other than that, I mean, we saw more Monster Hunter Wilds, which I'm excited for. But we've seen like trailers for that like 3 or 4 times now already. So that was a cool. The Legacy of Kain remaster was a cool announcement. I think that one was already leaked beforehand, so I think that kind of like spoiled that a little bit for me. There was the VR stuff didn't care about. There was Fantasian we've seen a couple times before also. The Dynasty Warriors look pretty cool. Dynasty Warriors Origins.
Yep.
Dragon Age. But again, another game I've seen probably like 4 or 5 times already at shows. So there was a lot of that stuff, which is great for new trailers for those games. I will say that I really liked what I saw of Dragon Age Veilguard at the State of Play, like specifically the combat sequence they had with the dragon, and the way that the abilities work and the combinations and all that kind of stuff. They were kind of showcasing it. Looked pretty badass, and I'm even more excited than I was for that. But the only one besides Ghost of Yotei that was a new announcement, something that I was like, oh yeah, it was that Arcade game.
Yes.
But that I'm still have kind of like in the back of my mind, I kind of have like a little bit of radar up just because it looks a little too good to be true in some ways. Right, from a studio that I have not that familiar with, and not saying that it can't be good. It's just that sometimes we've seen some of these kind of games like that and it looks great, but then when it actually comes out, it's not anything really to speak of, right? But I'm crossing my fingers for that one to be good. That's coming everywhere, I believe, as well, right? So, the PS5 Pro section was kind of interesting. They didn't really do a good job of selling it again, in my opinion. Really showcasing how amazing the benefits are. So that kind of fell a little flat, and I didn't like that Ghost.
We mean 8K 60, Mav.
Yeah, I didn't like that Ghost kind of felt like a part of that because it didn't showcase why.
Right.
Because Ghost looked great, right?
Yes.
It looked great, but it looked like Ghost of Tsushima looked great, and it looked like just more Ghost of Tsushima, but that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because it's a great looking game already. If you play Ghost of Tsushima like on PC, like I'm sure you did, or if you play like the on a PS5 with the free update that they did, plays fucking amazing, right? And Ghost of Yotei, I think, is going to look and play amazing as well. So, but it didn't really like showcase like, hey, this is why you need a PS5 Pro, right? Again, and I feel like they failed to really justify that throughout that whole part, which is I really wanted them to. I wanted it to feel like, hey, this is really worth it, but I don't really feel like that showed up. Other than that, I really love the footage and what we saw of Ghost of Yotei. Like the scene, just the imagery. It's fucking beautiful, man. Like,
gorgeous. Yep.
Just like, I can't wait to play that game. That's gonna be when it comes out. I think I'm gonna guess it's probably second half of next year. It's gonna be one of those times where I'm gonna get some massive FOMO.
Yep.
I'm gonna have a hard time. Right, because I'm going to want to be
sooner or
playing
later this time. Yeah, hopefully sooner than later this time. Though, I mean, I hope they saw the success with the first one coming over to PC and understand that if they launch it even closer to the PS5 version, if it's not day and date, that's going to mean more sales even, right? So I'm right there with you, brother. Yeah.
Overall, it was a decent show, good show for State of Play.
Score
it felt like I'll say 7.
Okay, fair enough.
Like I felt like they were trying to make this their like, hey, we don't actually have a showcase this year, so this is our bigger State of Play, right? right? We're at 20 games, it's 40 minutes. You know, we're gonna have 20 plus games, 40 minutes. We're going to focus on hardware. We're gonna have a big new game announcement, and we're gonna have a kind of a mishmash of other stuff. It's just that the rest of the show like had really a lack of anything interesting first party wise from Sony. It was all just third party new trailers or like added on content and all that kind of stuff, which is cool. For a state of play, this is why they called it a state of play. I'm still missing that showcase from PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
So for what it was, I'll give it a 7. I would have liked to. I have my hopes on like a hopes and dreams showcase, and I would rather Ghost of Tsushima be announced at something like that, like some bigger spectacle thing. Other than that, it kind of felt like, well, this is at least the cool thing here, right? I know everybody was talking about it still after, so I think the game's gonna do crazy numbers when it comes out and stuff. So, but yeah, say to play maybe like a 7 or so. Enjoyed it for what it was, but not a lot of new. I'm a sucker usually for new things at these shows. And if you don't have a lot of new things, then I get a little bit kind of like, okay, yeah, I've seen that. You know, so that's where I'd sit with it.
I totally understand. Everybody here knows by now that, again, I don't compare them to anything else. I don't look at them from anything else than what they are. And it's all about whether or not I got games that I want to play. And I don't care if they're multiplayer. I just like seeing new games I want to play. So this game was trending for me at a 7 math as well through most of it. But the final hits of Soul Reaver, Lunar, and then Ghosts of Yotei pushed this to probably, I was going to say grade-wise, probably a B minus. So probably upwards of a 79, 80, I guess. 80, we'll say. 8. But, you know, probably high 7s, maybe somewhere in that neighborhood. Because of how they hit. And Arcade Chronicles definitely is interesting me. So I got to see that. Hell is Us. Again, if it's not Souls-like, I'll be playing it, but like Hell is Us. When I saw that, I was like, oh, whoa. Okay. It's like, this is dope. It actually kind of reminded me of Remnant 2.
That game looked good. It's just not for me. Right.
Correct.
So,
and I totally get that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and and it might not be for me. Again, if it turns out that the Souls like, I'm not playing it. Like I'm not gonna do that. I'll do the hardcore, like hey, just go out there and explore without any marker. I'm good with that. But if that combat turns out to be Souls like, no, I won't be playing it either. But I just thought it was very interesting, and I thought it was unique, and I thought it was something dope to have. It was a new IP that I hadn't heard of before. So I gave them bonus points for that too. Overall, again, they told us what this was gonna be. To surprise us with Ghosts of Yotei, I thought was dope. At a state of play where most people weren't expecting any of the big first party to show up at this point, because we are all still waiting on a showcase, whether or not they ever have a showcase, or like Nate Dogg said in the chat, bringing back the PlayStation Experience, which is a rumor as well that they're going to bring back the PlayStation Experience. I think that would be freaking fantastic. The PlayStation Experience used to be amazing. I used to go to the theaters. Those are ones where you could go to select theaters in your state and watch the PlayStation Experience during the PS4 generation. I love that. I used to go do that. I got a couple tags still somewhere hanging around here somewhere. So if they got to bring that back or showcase back, it's time. They need to do that. And I agree with you wholeheartedly, Mav. You know, we've been talking about this. We need that roadmap. They got to show what everybody's been working on. Like, they got to have hopes and dreams here. And like you said, the PS5 Pro, they didn't sell it any really much that more to me. I guess their plan is to kind of let Digital Foundry sell it for them, because Digital Foundry put out a big piece today talking about all of a sudden they went from, it's roughly 40, we're going to see some improvements, blah, blah, to, oh my God, this is a generational leap. Oh my God, this is generation. For all you people with 8K TVs, all 10 of you, this is going to be amazing because Gran Turismo is now 8K. Okay. So yeah, this is a generational leap. Like this is impressive stuff here. They're going to let Digital Foundry and the media sell it, right? That's what I think. That's what their plan is, like, to tell everybody. And again, that's fine, because like we said, this system isn't for the masses. This isn't to convert everybody over from PS4. This is, again, if they can sell 6 to 10% of their current PlayStation 5 base on the Pro, they're going to make a ton of freaking money off of this console. That's all they're trying to do. So it's going to be up to the values in the eye of the beholder, Mav. Like we both talked about, if this was an Xbox upgrade, you and I probably both be in, depending on circumstances. We'd probably both be going and getting one at this point. Just if we could get more consistent 60 frames, cool. Like that'd probably be enough for us. Whereas a lot of people are like, you're nuts that you can't spend that kind of money just for that kind of update. But I think that's their plan. But I'm almost complete agreement with you. I see where you came up with your 7. Again, I think that's a fair score for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, mine just raised a little bit because my nostalgia's in there.
Everything looked good there. It's just like personally for me, it wasn't I'm super excited about these new announcement type games, right? So ultimately, that's where I landed. But yeah, there was the big surprise at the end. It would have been bad if it wasn't for that. Right. So the Ghost of Yotei saved it for me, and the good showings of the games I am still excited for being there. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and Jesse P, if you think that's general, that's fine. Again, I am been consistent on my ratings when it comes to these types of things. Like I don't shy away from the fact I don't have to have like big giant surprises. I don't have to have all brand new stuff. Like I don't have those requirements going into these. If there is a handful of games that I come out of any showcase that I'm excited to play, whether they're multi-plat or whether they're exclusives or whatever, I don't care. Like to me, that's enough. If I come out of a showcase, there was 20 some games and I can legitimately look at this list and probably say there's probably like 7 or 8 games that really kind of was like, oh, okay, this looks dope, or I've seen them before, but I like the new updates from those games, maybe even more, maybe closer to 10, then that to me is a winning that's a winning show. Like I don't care. Like that's just how I judge them. That's why I say I don't compare them to any other previous shows. I don't do any of that stuff. So yeah, if you think it's generous, it's generous. Like I said, I would do high 7s. I was thinking in my head grade wise B-, but yeah, it'd be somewhere in that neighborhood. So anyways, all in the eye of the beholder. And that's why I got upper too. 4 out of 10 for you. Totally get it, man. Totally get it. All right, Mav. If everybody woke up early enough, you could have gone live with Mav and you could have watched him stream the Tokyo Game Show, the Xbox Tokyo Game Show opening today. Now, Tokyo Game Show already started. If you guys were paying attention to X last night, Jeff Keighley was doing his best fanboying over Sony. Ken Kutaragi, the godfather of PlayStation, started off TGS, opened up TGS, which was totally cool. Again, place in history, what he did for the industry. Again, can't take anything away from the dude. Didn't agree with all of his decisions, but the guy made PlayStation a lot, right? So have him there. He's got a ton of knowledge, and he actually did a whole speech, and he actually had some interesting quotes, but we won't get to tonight. But that's when TGS started. But Xbox had their opening salvo today, Mav, at 5 a.m. Central Time, 6 a.m. Eastern Time, because, of course, they are on Japanese time. So that's when it went live. Mav was there for it. I did watch the whole thing with Mav this morning while I was getting ready, so I know kind of Mav's initial thoughts. But let's break it down for anybody who was not paying attention or wants kind of a recap. Let's go through this. So we got Immortal Pillars expansion announced for Age of Mythology. That's right, Immortal Pillars expansion already coming to the Age of Mythology. Do we have the exact date that they put it in this wire? They did not. But Mav, it sounded like it was this year, right? It was coming soon, right?
Yeah, I think it was sooner than later.
Yeah, it was sooner than later. I think it was this year. But this is going to have, of course, they announced it there because it is going to be Chinese mythology, right? So they are going to have Chinese gods introduced, which they had in the original mythology too. I talked about that a couple weeks ago, that this is obviously an easy win for them in Age of Mythology. They can keep expanding out to all these different gods and religions across the globe throughout history. But the Chinese were in there, the original one. So to have this announced here, perfect. You got dragons, you get all sorts of cool shit, man. Can't wait. Mav and I both got the upgraded package, so we're getting this DLC no matter what. we both told you how much we love it, so this was great. Then you got Pets coming to Fallout 76, Mav. Pets coming to Fallout 76. That's right. So if you're a Fallout 76 fan, you've been looking for pets, dogs and cats coming. Then we had Indiana Jones, and of course, this was Phil on stage 2, by the way, who kicked a lot of this off, and Phil in the Starcraft t-shirt, which I knew Mav noticed right away because I heard I was getting ready, and all of a sudden Mav's like, "Oh, look at the shirt! Phil's wearing a Starcraft." I'm like, "He's wearing a what?" So I had to come check it out. But Phil announced that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will be fully localized for Japanese. Awesome. We talked about the lackluster localization of Xbox, and it's caused some problems and some issues in the East. They got to do a better job. But the fact that Indiana Jones is going to be fully localized in Japanese, freaking awesome. Great job, Bethesda. Hats off. Again, this goes a long ways, so that is dope. Overwatch 2 and My Hero Academia collaboration. Again, this is going to be all Eastern flavored stuff, folks. If you're not into the East, if you're not into anime, if you're not into this kind of stuff, this ain't going to hit for you. And then I saw a lot of people say it didn't hit for them. I totally get it. But Overwatch 2 and My Hero Academia getting a collab. Looks cool, of course, if you are into Overwatch and anime. And then, of course, Mav, as you talked about, and we're gonna talk about this one a little bit because I have to. StarCraft Remastered and StarCraft 2 land on PC Game Pass on November 5th. I had actually known about this 2 weeks ago. Little birdie hit me up, and I knew this was going down. So again, it was on the DL, whatever else, but I knew this was eventually coming to Game Pass. And I knew that StarCraft had already been remastered, so I kind of knew what this was going to be.
Right.
That it was just going to be coming to Game Pass. But Phil wearing the t-shirt, Mav, stressing the fact that it was coming to PC Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate, sets this up for more down the road. I think this is a big deal. I think this is just the beginning of the revival of StarCraft. I think this is where it starts. It's the easy play to bring it early to Game Pass Ultimate and the PC Game Pass to fire up that side again, get some people trying it out, obviously get the East back on notice. StarCraft again, get that language, get that name back out there. Not that it needs to, but they're gonna start putting it out there. Yes, we are Xbox. Yes, we control StarCraft now. I think this sets up, Mav, a remaster or a rework of 1 and 2 for consoles down the road to put them on consoles. It'll already be in Game Pass Ultimate. Again, I think that's why Phil said it.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think he wears the t-shirt, Mav, just to make the announcement that these old games are coming to PC Game Pass. Like he always says his t-shirts mean something. He could have wore a couple different t-shirts that would have had more meaning right today for TGS than this announcement for StarCraft. Yeah. I think he's telling the world that StarCraft is back. Like this is the beginning, right? This is the beginning. So yeah, I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it should be on console. It should be on console." Listen, first of all, these are old games, right? You got to remember how old these games are. Again, Mav, I think you didn't even realize that StarCraft 1 had been remastered already.
When he said it, I was like, "Oh, I was like, what? It's a remaster. They're bringing it back and redoing work on it." And I realized afterwards, right? And
people don't realize how old these are, Mav. Like,
and
then you go back and look at the original StarCraft, like before the remaster.
So I afterwards I was like, okay, so there is nothing new. It's just bringing the games into Game Pass, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I still think because of the way, like him wearing the shirt and standing up there and mentioning it, it's bringing extra attention to the IP, right?
Correct.
It's not just a little thing that was announced in one of the like little graphics they do on Twitter and on their blog posts. This is that standing on stage, making a point, with the shirt, also saying and StarCraft, and that was Phil's announcement, right? Correct. And we know how big of a strategy game fan he is, also. And I think that had more meaning to it as well, about like trying to revitalize the IP. This is the start of that, I feel like. It was confusing also how he did say PC Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate, because Game Pass Ultimate is really irrelevant here.
Right.
Because if you have PC Game Pass is what you need to play it, and Game Pass Ultimate includes PC Game Pass, right? So you don't have to signify both. So the fact when he said Game Pass Ultimate, is like, why is he saying that? Is it that's why I thought is it maybe coming to consoles? Because like, why say Game Pass Ultimate? There was unnecessary additive for that. Unless he just wants to be on stage and say the words Game Pass Ultimate, and use it as an excuse. I don't know.
Or is it a setup for something else?
Yeah,
right.
It was just setup. It was just weird because like you could just say because it's only on PC, so you could just say PC Game Pass, and that's obviously if you have Game Pass Ultimate that you get PC Game Pass, right? So, yeah, like that was a little strange, but we'll see. Like maybe that means something, down the line.
The only other thing I could think about was maybe internally they've found that in the East, since this was specifically directed to them, right? In the East, that not as many people realize that Game Pass Ultimate includes PC Game Pass, so they didn't want to just say PC Game Pass because a lot of people use handhelds over there, right? So if they are working on ROG Allies or whatever the case may be, right, Steam Decks, etc., he just wanted to make sure that if they had Xbox Ultimate, they were okay. Like, I don't know. Like, there was it did come off as weird. I first thought too, I'm like, did they get it ready for console? Really? Are we gonna do this already? So I think it might be setting something up personally. I think there might be a future. He just wanted to get it out there like now so that everybody kind of knew it was an Ultimate, but who knows? But I do think this is a revival.
Yeah.
I think this is coming. And the fact that they are also including the campaigns is another big thing. The campaign is not just the multiplayer, which is what everybody loves, right? It is the campaigns as well. So everybody's going to be able to play through the stories, through PC Game Pass. So you're going to get the full boat with the Starcraft 1 and 2, which is freaking awesome. So, I'm downloading it. Mav's going to be downloading it. So we'll be talking some Starcraft.
I already own our Starcraft 2. So, I could install it now.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know if I don't know if I've ever played StarCraft 1 Remastered.
Dope. But November 5th. So it was a big announcement. Again, I was super excited for it, even though, it's not the console and it's not anything like, oh, we're really restarting StarCraft. I think this was the beginning. And it was a great place to announce it at TGS. So that was awesome. And then we got Mav, I know you were laughing about this one. All You Need Is Help. That little Tetris-like puzzle game where you got to cooperate to put the Tetris-like pieces and fit them together and solve puzzles and all kind of. They look like talking little cushions. Is what they look like.
I installed that earlier in our bedroom just to show Kate and my daughter, so that way they could see it and like something we'll probably play together.
Super cool. Available on Game Pass today. That was one of the ones that dropped right into Game Pass today, right? So, awesome. And then we got this one was a weird one. This reminds me of Power Stone. Azure Zhang anime style battle royale, but it's top down. Like, I'm not big into battle royales, but I loved Power Stone, and I want Capcom to redo it. But with the top down view, Mav, it kind of gave me those Power Stone feelings. And this one's got some interesting characters. Look kind of dope. I kind of like the look of it.
Yeah, that was so that was a top down one, and also it had like a battle royale theme to it. So it was it's like a Smash Bros / battle royale top down game. Interesting.
Yeah, where the map started disappearing, right? Because it was like the
and like
the fog would roll in, right?
And when and the map falls off, and you can knock people off the stage like you do in like and Smash Bros and stuff like that.
Smash Bros, right? Yeah, but the top-down view looks so much better to me than I don't know. I actually was like, okay, well, I might check that one out at some point. It kind of looked kind of dope. And then we got a deep dive into the first Atelier Yumiya, the first Atelier game coming to Xbox. This is a big franchise. Cross your fingers that they decide to bring the rest. This is an underappreciated, underrated JRPG, more modern JRPG. They've actually gone back and redid the early ones too. Those are actually redone. They're all on PC, they're on PlayStation, etc. This is an underrated franchise. This is one of those franchises because games like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest and Tales, I should say, because all those series kind of dominate the talking points. Some of these JRPGs are in that vein. just never get the attention. But Atelier has been around for a long time. But the fact that this is the first one coming to Xbox and it looks awesome. I know this caught your attention, Mav. I heard you on stream going, this looks really good after a while, right?
Yeah, the more that they showed of it, the better it started looking for me. And it looks like something I might be interested in playing. I liked the guy talking about it. Like you could tell like he's like loves his franchise. Just seemed like he liked to promote it to everybody. So like, hey, this is game's different, and you should really give it a chance. This game's awesome. I work on it and I love it. And he said
Halo.
Yeah,
right?
That was what stood out. And he was like, he's like, yeah, one of the games that inspired me was Halo. And he talked about the kind of step out into the world moment and how that their games are kind of open like that. And it was kind of because of Halo and stuff. And it was just like, it, regardless of maybe he's saying it extra because it's like at an Xbox show or whatever, but like still having that connection to the Xbox audience, I think is kind of a cool thing. But not only that, anytime these developers speak about some of their inspirations or games that they loved or that they got inspired to include with their games going forward, I love that stuff, man. I love hearing it because it kind of gives you a glimpse when you're playing those games into like, oh, that's interesting. Well, this is why they maybe did that. This creator went with this because he was inspired by these other things. And you could look at a lot of other games maybe have that same kind of thing. You know, you look at the Bethesda has those step out moments, you know, and stuff. So yeah, it was really cool to kind of hear that stuff from the developer. I liked his presentation.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of presentation, I didn't say this before when we were talking about the state of play.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure because I meant to say this earlier. Overall, the format I really liked. I liked it for the state of play. I liked the format. I liked the cadence, right, and the momentum of it. And overall, I thought it was a good presentation. It just didn't have as much as I personally would have loved, but the
pacing was really good.
But also for this TGS show, it felt like an actual kind of mini showcase.
Yeah, and I was surprised how it ended, actually.
Yeah,
even though it was a good point, I guess, to end, but I thought it felt like there should be a couple more. Like it just felt
something
like
a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it felt kind. And again, I don't want to. People are doing that today too. And again, you know, I had my thoughts on it. I had my guesses about, 16. We'll get there, but I had my thoughts on whether or not they would be there. But it just felt like it went over so fast. I thought there could be a couple more announcements, and we'll talk about that because I think there is a couple things that I would like to have seen from Xbox here. But again, it is what it is. Last thing I was going to say about Atelier, Yumiya this is a good sign because Xbox missed out on like Grand Blue Fantasy Relink this year, which was big and which is very good. I got to get back to playing.
Fantastic,
so freaking awesome, fantastic. Atelier is in the Grand Blue kind of vein, right? So to have one of these come over, and like I said, I hope this is a sign they're going to bring the rest of the series. It only makes sense that they would. Is good for Xbox too. Again, they're going to still have skips. They're still going to have misses. They're not going to get everybody on board, but Phil and Sarah are doing a lot of work, and they have for years and years and years. And we've talked about it. So to see something like this finally show up is just kind of a validation for everything that they were doing over there, plus all the other stuff, obviously at this point, Atlas and all that kind of stuff. But this is a good one to have. And I think a lot of people are going to find a new RPG that they like in this game. So I hope everybody gives it a shot when it shows up. Then we had another anime game showing up, Bleach Rebirth of Souls. I know they got a lot of Bleach fans out there. Watched some Bleach in my lifetime, maybe season or two. But Bleach is pretty dope anime. But I know I got a lot of hardcore Bleach fans out there. This is looking like a freaking awesome action style Bleach game for sure, coming in early 2025. So go check that out if you are a Bleach fan. Looks like they're being obviously right in line with everything from the anime. It looks kind of cool. And then Mav, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake.
Looked really good.
New Monster Wrangler Vocation. Oh, Matt, my nostalgia is off the charts right now. It's crazy how many games we are getting, bro, that we've talked about or that we said, boy, wouldn't it be great if they just brought them back in some way, shape, or form so that they live on today's hardware. And here we are. And we are getting so many of them. I just talked about Lunar, just talked about Soul Reaver, right? We've been talking about Tokyo Extreme Racer coming back of all things,
crazy.
right?
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. There are so many remakes being done of worthy titles, right? Dragon Quest, early Dragon Quest games. Don't know how many hours sitting at my buddy's house on sleepovers playing Dragon Quest, the early Dragon Quest games, right? Fighting slimes all the time, right? This is bringing me all the way back to, great 8th grade, high school, right? Early high school Dragon Quest with my buddy. When I heard the sound, I wasn't watching because I was doing stuff, Matt, but I heard you, I heard them say it was Dragon Quest or whatever. I heard you talking about, but then the sound effects hit, and it was like, bro, they kept the original sound effects.
Yeah.
Like they upgraded, like it's gorgeous. It's got that 2D, 3D look, right? The Octopath Traveler made like it's gorgeous, but they kept the sound effects, man. But I was like instantly transported back to my childhood again. I was like, oh my God. I've been excited for this. That just made me even more excited. Plus, they introduced this new Pokemon style game where you get to collect monsters and battle out in an arena. So that looked dope as hell. What'd you think about Dragon Quest 3, brother?
Yeah, that actually surprised me how good it looked. It's one that I was not really, be honest with you, like, okay, is it going to be another just kind of slightly remastered type thing or whatever? But no, this is like all out, like really looking gorgeous. Kind of looks like some of those like square pixel games they've been doing recently and stuff. So Octopath, Bravely Default, all that kind of stuff. They're kind of bringing it to that new era with the graphics a little bit. Really, I love that look, man. Yes. I love that look in these games. It's just absolutely gorgeous. But also staying true to the core mechanics and everything of the game. And then those sound effects adding on top of it was just like, bro. Yes, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, that brought me back 100%.
Oh, so incredible, man, what that does for you. Instantly transported my buddy's basement again with the NES on, just freaking playing Dragon Quest. God, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's crazy. Let's stay on the Square Enix a little bit. Again, Xbox Wire didn't put their show in order, obviously. So, but let's stay on Square Enix here, because obviously there was a whole section of announcements. Sarah Bond came on and talked about, kind of their work in the East and what they've been doing, and they're so excited about everything that's happening, and obviously their new relationship with Square Enix, right? And she said, we're pleased to announce a bunch of games coming to Xbox, right? We knew this was coming. Now, again, this is where people want to get into today. Final Fantasy 16 should have been here, blah, blah, blah. Again, I was on record as saying I thought Final Fantasy 16 would be announced here. I thought it would be a perfect time to do it. But it didn't happen, right? But it's only a matter of time. We know it's coming. But then they announced, Mav, that obviously we got Visions of Mana earlier this year. We knew that was coming. That just came out. We had the announcement earlier this year. That was kind of right after that whole kind of Square Enix newfound, we're going to spread our games out because we're not making money anymore and this ain't working. And we got the Visions of Mana at the Direct. Well, there's other Mana games out there that have not been on Xbox. So we get Legend of Mana, and we also get the
Trials of Mana.
Trials of Mana. Both on Xbox, both Game Pass, both today.
Yeah.
Launched this morning. So if you haven't turned on your Xbox, if you've been stuck out somewhere, whatever the case may be, if you're just driving home, please go on your Game Pass right now. So these games are on there available for you if you want to play some Mana. Now, The Secret of Mana still is not on Xbox, which is the OG, which I played on SENS, another, again, GOAT JRPG. But to have these two show up, Mav, and then she also announced that, yes, which kind of got leaked by Xbox themselves, because, of course, they do this stuff. The store, they posted the shit on their on the front of your Xbox, like over in Europe early. But Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster is also available. Not Game Pass, but did drop today. And normally I think it's $80, but you get 20% off right now. So it's like $60 right now. If you want to go pick up 6 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 Final Fantasies, and they look great. So Psychonauts bought it, so we're going to be getting updates from him as he plays through it. I'm not picking this up right away. I eventually will. But my God, Mav, to go from all the back and forth, why, like what Square's doing it, you guys have all heard it from us here over the years. What the hell is Square doing? We've laid into Square for all the issues, skipping Xbox here, putting a game here, putting Octopath Traveler here, then no Octopath Traveler 2, right? All this kind of stuff. This is the start. Like I said, they needed to solidify that they weren't just bullshitting. This is the start right here. Yes, will 16 and Final Fantasy 7, the remakes, absolutely seal it 100%? Yes, of course. Those are the big announcements. Could they be at the Game Awards? Yep. Could they be at the showcase next year for Xbox? Yep. Both are great places for something like that. I thought it would be here. It didn't happen, right? But it's just a matter of time. But this is a good start, Mav, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was more than I thought was going to happen. I did say that, it'd be interesting if we get some Square games into Game Pass and stuff because, that they're trying to find the audience and it makes sense for them to take to get that money from Xbox. So that kind of secures the boat for them as far as the releases, right? So it's no longer skipping the brand or the platform, growing your IP, getting people a chance to play it, growing interest, so that way next time there's another new one, guess what? Maybe you're going to do even better, right? So, fostering your franchises and trying to grow them and stuff instead of secluding them to one specific audience. And I think that's what this message was about today with those franchises, with Final Fantasy and with Mana. So it was great to see that, and also Dragon Quest as well, because HD2D was another Square game. So we actually had several Square games get announced, and some of them shadow dropped to Xbox today.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Rumor. So everybody,
breaking rumor.
Breaking rumor. Let me bring it here. Let me get this up. I don't know if anybody's seen this yet. This is from Unlocked 661, IGN. They had the one and only everybody's favorite Jason Schreier on, Mav.
Okay.
According to Jason Schreier, Blizzard is currently incubating a shooter in the Starcraft universe led by Dan Hay, who did Far Cry, Mav. They're bringing back Starcraft Ghost. Are you freaking kidding me?
Dan. So which Dan who?
Dan Hay from Far Cry. It says.
Okay.
Yo, like Mav and I said,
they're gonna make their own Space Marine type game.
Well, Starcraft Ghost. Remember Starcraft?
Yeah,
Ghost?
100%.
Okay, right. So, yep. I imagine. Yeah. Like, I imagine it's going to be in that vein. Like, why wouldn't you, right?
100%.
Like we said, Phil doesn't wear T-shirts and make this announcement. Just like that's the end of it.
Yeah.
There's got to be more. So,
yeah, go fostering the franchise and the IP, man. Love it.
Yes.
It's something we talked about early on when the ABK acquisition was announced, and it's like, what are they going to do? They're going to bring back StarCraft Ghost. A lot of people said that,
Psychonauts has been pounding the table for StarCraft Ghost. So yeah,
it's a lot of speculation about what they would do and stuff, and this is some of the things we look at about, hey, they're serious about growing these franchises and these IPs, and hey, it's awesome. If Schreier's saying it, then it's real, because as much as I can't stand the little weasel, with what he tries to do for self gain and sabotage some of these studios and stuff, but like give him credit where it's due as far as his journalism and actually doing some journalistic work, and also when he knows a lot of stuff, right? And when he says something, it's usually accurate.
Correct.
So,
correct.
Whether he sells a book about it or not, and is promoting a book, and then also does some other kind of shady stuff to promote his book and all that kind of stuff is another story, right?
Right.
Besides that, journalism wise, he's one of the ones that actually knows a lot and is invested in being a journalist, for even if some of it's agenda based.
Yep, absolutely. I had to throw it out there. So I know we're running short of time, but I had to throw it out there because that's pretty big, bro.
Yeah, we just got to make sure we leave enough time for my game of the show.
Yes, we will do that. So we got another look at Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, which of course continues to look great. Again, I'm never going to claim to be the biggest Metal Gear fan. I'll play this at some point. It's not like a day one for me, but it looks fantastic. And all the fans, hardcore fans, really say that they're doing a nice job with this. So hats off. It looks great. I know, Mav, you said it just is awesome. So Metaphor Refantasio, we already talked about it. They announced the demo here. Got another look at it. Again, go try out the demo. If you got Xbox, it's great that we're getting a prologue demo. It's freaking amazing. 5 hours calorie said it took him. It's freaking awesome. Go check it out. Then we got another look at Slitterhead coming from Kiichiro Toyama, which is he is the original Silent Hill dude, one of the original Silent Hill dudes, I believe. But Slitterhead is this really weird horror game where you get to you get to possess different people on the street, right, Mav? Or just different bodies everywhere?
Yeah, it's like somebody in the chat, I forgot who earlier, was hearkening it to that movie Fallen with Denzel Washington, where it's like you touch any person that gets touched, the demon passes on to them, and they're always singing that song, "Time is on my side," whatever. But like, this is like that. Like you possess people to move and and become them.
Kind of had a look at Ghostwire Tokyo too.
Yeah,
like it was cool.
It looks cool. It's another weird one that for me, I can just tell this is not going to be something I'm interested in. But I do find that there's probably going to be like specific type of gamer that really is going to be interested in that, and it's going to be different, which is really cool.
Right. Yeah. No. Again, it might never be for me, but I think it looked different enough where I was like, okay, I see where he's going. This is cool. I like that crazy weird stuff.
Yeah.
Calorie says Dan Hay also did Marvel Ultimate Alliance, X-Men Wolverine Origins, and all of the Far Cry games he was involved with, Mav. So
even the first one. The first one was Crytek. Yeah,
I don't know when he joined or not. I'd have to look him up, but
I'm
just gonna keep going. So, but anyway, Slitterhead look good. We got Star Bites, a sci-fi turn-based RPG that sees you exploring a desert planet. I'm always down for more turn-based, but there's so much that I have in the hopper right now that I want to play. Like I'm like, okay, maybe down the road. We got another look at, of course, Suikoden, which was supposed to be out this year. Shout out to Chris Jones. Again, this is another one of my GOATs JRPGs from back in the day, Suikoden series. I've been excited for this. Was supposed to be out this year, got delayed till next year. But we got another look at that. It's looking beautiful and gorgeous. Can't wait till that comes out. Then we got a cool looking game too, Mav, a new one, Sin Duality, that I had not seen before. Coming January 24th. Survive the surface of a sci-fi PvPvE extraction shooter where you and your AI partner must gather resources to rise in this world. So that looked interesting. Again, am I down for an extraction shooter right now? Probably not, but it looked kind of cool with the AI mechs. I ain't gonna lie. So
it looked interesting. I was there was like a couple games in a row right there that I think that was like right after Bleach got announced, and I was like, this section is all for Steel, because it's like Bleach followed by the mech game, right?
Sin Duality, Echo of Ada. Look kind of cool, and I think that it is going to be a price game because they say you can buy a deluxe or ultimate edition too to play 7 days early. So it's not going to be a free-to-play game. So we'll see how that works out, but it looked pretty good. The one that was shown early, Mav, this looks kind of fun. I mean, again, it's total Eastern stuff, but it looked funny as hell. Tanuki Pond Summer with the raccoon delivering mail and packages on his bike, and all of a sudden it turned into Tony Hawk, and you were grinding rails and stuff, and you were doing all sorts of flips. And that Tanuki, I'm assuming that's the raccoon, was cute as hell, of course, because he's done in the stupid anime style, and it's just he's got a silly face, and he was playing baseball at one point, so it looks like they got a bunch of mini games. Looks kind of cool. Looks kind of cool, man.
That one looked really fun, man. It reminded me of kind of like Paperboy.
Yeah. Paperboy meets Tony Hawk or meets
right.
BMX or whatever. Yeah. That would definitely look good. I'm saving yours, Matt, by the way, here real quick, because that'll be the last one, because I agree with you on it, so I can't wait. We'll get into it. And then early on, too, Phil, during his presentation, also announced that Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie, also was dropping the Game Pass day and day. I love Katamari games. I don't care. I've always loved them. They're stupid fun. I don't ever play them seriously. They don't last long in my library before I delete them. But whenever they show up on Game Pass, and I actually think I own one, maybe, or two, and I owned them back in the day, bro, rolling around and just making a big ball of shit is pretty fun, bro. I'm not going to lie. I love it.
I've never played one.
Oh, my God. Oh, you got to try it. Yeah. You just got to download it.
It's just one. It's just like, do I want to?
I know. You know? It's so weird. But it's so funny as you just get bigger and bigger and you start picking up bigger objects, and it gets ridiculous, and it's hilarious, man. It's absolutely hilarious. I love that. And then Mav, game of the show for you, and I probably would say, obviously, out of the stuff I should say this too. FragPunk. Let me first FragPunk.
That looked really good.
Beta October 10th. Yeah, Mav. I wanted to say real quick, the more I see a FragPunk, this already has 2,000 times the soul that Concord wished it had, because I don't care. Like, it's not going to be my game. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all. I don't play these types of games that way. But if I'm going to sit down and try one, like, that's just how the devs are too, like that whole video of the devs, man, like, bro, they were having a blast with their own game. I love to see that shit. But it looks interesting enough with the cards, with the big head modes, and they were doing but they had one card that put a turtle on your back so you couldn't get shot from behind. It was bouncing off the turtle shell. It just looked cool, man. And the colors, everything. I really like what I'm seeing out of FragPunk, and there's going to be a beta on October 10th. So if you want to join in.
Yeah.
So you kind of felt the same?
Yeah, it looked great. Yeah. I the same thing with the devs too. Like, I just like that you could tell they were having a blast making that video, promoting their game and talking about it and playing it, the footage behind the scenes. I think that game's got a chance to find a spot in a very crowded space.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say this is an automatic win by any stretch of the imagination, but it does stand out already, right? It does already have that little extra something to it that gives it an edge to at least people will try it, right? At least check it out. So yeah, October 10th. So, Matt, the final game. And I know we got to get you out of here, but Threads of Time was announced here. A brand new classic JRPG that spans ages. So this thing, you go dinosaurs all the way to sci-fi future cyberpunk levels and everywhere in between. This game, absolutely, when it popped on the screen and they started showing off what was happening and how the levels were designed and just the graphical and the colors, and again, traveling through time to all these different time zones. Can't wait to see what else is in this. Really hit. I was like, okay, here we go. Got classic style JRPG, but modernized with absolutely drop dead style, right? That this is very stylistic. I'm all in. Go ahead, man, because I know it was your game of the show.
Yeah, it's that was like melted my eyes. There's a lot of good things I liked seeing here, but that one was like, because we've seen this kind of style take off lately, with like that kind of new age pixel-aided look with games, right? And I think it's a very gorgeous with lighting and stuff, and colors and how they can do things graphically different using that art style, and I absolutely love it. But this one did it differently than any of the other games I've seen out there, and they kept mixing between the traditional like drawn anime style and then switching it back to that, and it was like both of them look gorgeous, right? And the whole thing going through the different time periods, then just seeing like gameplay that felt nostalgic to old school like RPGs and JRPGs from back in the day that I loved. It looks like a blend of a bunch of just awesomeness that's gorgeous. The music was good. I can't wait to play this game. That's the one. It's like because it feels nostalgic, but it feels new.
Correct.
Right? And like being able to capture both of that to where it kind of gives you that warm and fuzzy feel of like taking you back to a different time when games looked a certain way, but also they've never looked like this before. This is like amazing. Like you never had a chance to play these kind of games looking this gorgeous, you know, and it's taking a genre that I loved a lot when I was younger, right? That I've not been as into in more recent years because it's changed so much, kind of, right? And
correct.
This is what I kind of want that genre to be is kind of stuff like this. And man, I absolutely, my eyes were just fucking popping out of my head, dude. Like that game is like highly like we didn't get a date or anything like that, or even a year, I don't think. But that game is going to be high on my list for sure.
Yeah, no, I don't think we did either. I would assume next year too, but
I would assume so because it'd be kind of early to announce something like that, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, it goes back to, again, like Shane said, more Far East support on the Xbox than ever. Before by far, I was told Xbox was not making another console and dead. Yeah, you know, Shane, there's lots of clowns that like to run with that stupid shit. But you know, like Mav and I were talking about earlier, this goes back to all that work that we've talked about that Sarah and Phil and the rest of the team has done over in the East. It's still not perfect and probably never will be. There will always be some companies over there that just skip Xbox for a variety of reasons. But these types of games, Mav, is what validates it almost to the same level as a Square Enix validates, right, as well. Because when you start pulling in the smaller, yes, of course, they're doing things to help these people. They're probably giving them some bags sometimes or whatever the case may be. But the fact is that you're getting a unique game like this, a brand new IP that to Xbox, again, shows that they've opened more and more doors over there that were closed. And I think that you can't stress that enough. It is awesome.
Yeah.
So future's bright.
Can't wait, man. Lots of awesome stuff. We had shadow drops. We had new game announcements.
Yep.
We had other looks at existing games that we already know about again. We also had some surprises with the games that were shadow dropped. What from Square was more so the surprise for me, getting the Mana ones in Game Pass. That's not something I really wasn't even thinking about, you know.
Right.
Those ones, right? But then also there was the thing at the end that everybody's like, hey, didn't show what Final Fantasy 16 wasn't here, right? So that I think for a lot of people, they were just waiting for that announcement. It didn't happen, so I kind of ruined the show for them. I would say that I mean, it's going to happen at some point. Yeah, so the only reasons I could think it wasn't announced here is two things. Is one, they're still not allowed to because the deal with PlayStation may still omit them being able to announce it for Xbox for a certain period of time, right? Or two, they're saving that for a more bigger show, potentially even the Game Awards or a show early next year for Xbox.
Yep. What's your overall score? Oh, Mig Elite, we were talking about Threads of Time. It's a new JRPG coming out. only announced for Xbox and PC. I didn't see any PlayStation anywhere after the show. So I don't know if this is one of those timed exclusivity deals or if this is something like that, but Threads of Time. You can go look it up from TGS from the Xbox show. Overall score, Matt.
8.5.
Right spot on with me. 8.5. Easy
for a TGS,
all day long.
like again, always putting everything into like grading it for what it is. This is a TGS show. Best TGS show they've ever had, and it felt like an actual showcase at TGS, which was crazy because you usually don't get that, but this actually felt like a legitimate like smaller showcase, and they did great. They had surprise announcements. Now I know some people weren't feeling it because the kinds of games they're shown aren't for them, right? But I would just tell people that, hey, go into things kind of anticipating what kind of show it is, right? This is a TGS show with focusing primarily on those kind of games, right? And overall too, it was good to still get they did talk about the roadmap for Xbox, that they just stood up there and listed the games, right, coming out the rest of this year and next year, which was something that was so easy for them to do, and it's something that PlayStation has yet to be able to do whatsoever, right? So overall, between State of Play and this, I liked both shows overall. I thought they were both worth watching, but this one kind of felt more like it had stuff that I was interested in. But Ghost of Yotei was awesome as well.
Oh yeah,
the State of Play. Awesome. So it's interesting that we got both of these the same week. Why didn't just PlayStation just do a state of TGS thing?
I don't know why they did it the way that they did it, but again, this is Sony. Again, it's not the Sony of old. They do things different now, and they're not on their A game, in my view, at all, and they haven't been for a while. They are lost in a lot of ways. Again, still decent showing, and I liked it. Again, they had games I liked, but that stuff just doesn't make any sense to me, right? Of why they didn't have it just as a TGS showing. So, but it is what it is, man. Overall, another kind of Christmas week for us, Mav. Again, at least for you and me, because we both kind of enjoyed both shows. You not as much in the State of Play as maybe I did, but still enjoyed both shows. Brand new IP was showing. Surprises did happen. Again, we got surprise Game Pass drops today. Was not expecting the Mana series to drop in there. I still want to see Secret of Mana come eventually, but having Trials in there and Legend of Mana drop in there. Beautiful. I downloaded them on Game Pass. I'm ready to rock and roll. Right,
there was like
check them out.
4 or 5 drops into Game Pass at
Katamari, the 2 Mana series, and I think
there was that. No, there was the other the family one that I've downloaded.
Oh yeah, they all give me all we need is help.
Oh yeah, help me, please. Whatever that game is, I don't remember the name of it.
It is all you need is help.
Yeah, that game.
Yes, that game.
It was funny. I installed it and just checking out, showing it to Kate and my daughter, like I said earlier. But like, it actually made me laugh once because the character was like, "Help! I need someone."
Yeah, that's awesome. Yep.
Yeah, so it was like
Beatles.
Yeah, exact,ly It just made me laugh. So anyway,
good stuff. Capcom also had a show today. Again, we're gonna get Mav out here, but if you guys didn't know, Capcom did have a show with a bunch of updates. There wasn't really anything special in there unless you just kind of want to see the updates on all their stuff, but it was a good show. It was actually faster paced than they normally do for a Capcom show. There's been a couple, Mav, you've co-streamed a couple Capcom TGSs where it was like, why did I do this?
Yeah.
This one went by very fast, but it had some good updates if you guys want to go check that out. I think Poison, yes, PlayStation is at TGS. Ken Kutaragi again started off TGS late last night, if you were up on X. So PlayStation is there, but they have just like floor space. They're just showing off. I think they got just a bunch of booths, and they said they're going to multiple stage presentations with deeper dives into games like Astrobot. And then, yes, they have Death Stranding 2 will be on Sunday with Kojima, and they just upped the time in Kojima fashion. Kojima had an hour locked in on Sunday. they came out yesterday and said, "Oh yeah, we've upped that to an hour and a half." So Kojima's going to be on stage for an hour and a half talking about Death Stranding 2 tomorrow, or on Sunday, I should say, on Sunday. So I think that's the big one, I guess. Anyways, y'all, it was great to see everybody here. Thank you all for joining us for a short show tonight on PM the PM, but we love you all. Absolutely amazing. Again, a good week. We're going to have Xbox Ultimate tomorrow night. I'll probably be there with the fam for sure tomorrow night, where we can maybe get into some more of the stuff that happened this week as well. Get other people's opinions, because there is some things I would like to talk about. I think that, I would like to see a little something from Xbox to kind of match the China project that Sony had. I would like to see a little bit something there. Again, it doesn't matter. They still had a great show, but I would like to see something just kind of on that same vein a little bit. So we're going to talk maybe more about that on Xbox Ultimate, but appreciate y'all being here for another great episode of PM and the PM.
Did we get that Alvin super chat earlier?
The $5 one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, okay. I was watching the Cowboy game spaced out, I think.
Oh, shocker. Yeah, no, I read that when I was
making sure. Cool. Right on.
Yeah.
So make sure I missed one.
Anyways? Why are you wasting your time?
I missed one from him the other day, like when I was doing the stream and I was felt bad, so I wanted to make sure I didn't miss another one. So
yeah, no, you did not miss anything. So appreciate y'all sticking it out through the opening nonsense disagreement between me and Matt. We talk a little bit about the nonsense.
I love you, man. We can have a
conversation. Oh no, we can. I just know that a lot of people are like you and don't want to hear it, right? And it's nothing. So again, I did not necessarily want to get into that. I just had to mention that because I was laughing at myself because I was really wanted to jump in there. But no, appreciate you all for sticking it out. And again, we're going to talk more of this gaming, especially tomorrow night on Xbox Ultimate. We'll get into it for sure. There's breaking news about Blizzard. And Calorie put in there that Dan Haight started with Far Cry 3 map. So he said, apologize. It's Far Cry 3 that he started with.
Right on. So, yeah, I didn't think it was original Far Cry because I was really familiar with that because it was one of my favorite games. So I was
games all time.
Yeah, I remember the devs and all the other kind of stuff. I was that's why I was who is it? Right.
Not bad though. Far Cry 3.
No,
my goat. I go to Far Cry.
But it's the one that for most people fell in love with Far Cry, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the fact that Blizzard's incubating a first-person shooter supposedly from the Starcraft universe, Starcraft Ghost, if you all remember that, it was completed, basically done, gone gold.
Yeah.
They had everything. They had the cover. They had the cases printed. Okay, so that game was ready to rock and roll, and they scrapped it last minute. We get anything close to what they were doing back then with a guy with that kind of pedigree from Blizzard. We already know what Blizzard now does with CGI, bringing back StarCraft. Man, this is a sign StarCraft's coming back. 1000%. They are going to push StarCraft. This is going to be beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, breaking news tonight while we were there. That was from Jason Schreier on the Unlocked podcast over at IGN. Anyways, thank you all for being here. Mav, tell everybody what you got going on. We'll get you out of here.
We may not have a show tomorrow. So
okay.
Just bear,
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
possibly. Stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned to find that out for sure. Tomorrow, I'll let y'all know in the DMs early. If whatever.
Perfect.
But yeah, maybe not. We'll see. Other than that, guys, man, it's been a blast this week. Just showcases and new game announcements and sucked into all these new games that I'm getting to play but it's great having a chat here that comes up and shows up and just likes being part of the conversation. So everybody, thank you all for being a part of what we do. But otherwise, if you want to find, just check out Fun Speculation on Twitter, and we'll let you know when we go live. We didn't have FSP this week, but we'll be back for sure next Monday. And if we don't have a show tomorrow, so you'll be able to look forward to Monday's FSP. And then back here, PM in the PM on Thursdays, and then Xbox Ultimates on Friday nights.
Thank you, brother. Everybody, listen, first of all, quick shout out thoughts go out to everybody in Florida right now, especially up towards the Panhandle. Hurricane Helene is now a Category 4. Keep extra thoughts for Steel. We'll find out about Living Split Screen after this hurricane passes overnight and into tomorrow. It has moved further east. Steel is west in the Panhandle. He is up in the little spot.
I'm
He's on
actually
Central
more
Time.
worried about Psycho now because
but Psycho, yeah, that thing is again. Yeah,
he's like right on the coast, so it, like
right.
flooding and stuff, you know.
Right, exactly. And there's going to be lots of flooding all through this because this thing is category 4. So it's kind of hitting all of it right now. But it is tracking more east from Steel. So we will find out about Living Split Screen. But just extra thoughts and prayers to everybody in Florida that's in this thing's path. And obviously that extends up into Georgia and North Carolina and et cetera, Alabama, et cetera. Everybody in that path. Again, hope you all stay safe. And I hope this thing does not cause as much damage.
So it started heading more towards Steel?
It started heading east.
Okay,
Steel's in Central Time.
Yeah, so it's heading more towards Psycho.
It's headed more towards that side now. It broke because Steel, I think, said yesterday it was going to land. He thought about 50 miles east of him. Today it's like 150 miles east of him is where they're tracking right now. So we'll see. But again, this thing's massive. Yeah. So rain, flooding. It's not just where the eye hits on hurricanes. It's everything else too.
Yeah.
So
that's just Psycho said he's been ignoring things, playing Xbox all day. I'm just like Psycho, like
cool.
I know where the area you live right there is like the storm surge area, right? And it's like I was looking at the map and it's like they're saying it's going to be underwater possibly. So I don't know, man. You might want to like look it up and check out some information.
See what's happening.
Yeah.
But thoughts and prayers, everybody out there. And then, of course, like I said, like Mav said, please, we'll find out of whether or not we're going to have Xbox Ultimate tomorrow night. We will find out hopefully tomorrow. We will see again. Doesn't really matter. It's more about the families. Everybody's staying safe, whether or not Steel and I do Living Split Screen on Saturday. But we will obviously let you guys know that as well. Saturday night, Shop Podcast, PTK Blam's channel is going live. So we will be having that show 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. The best way to end your Saturday night, PTK Blam's channel. We always have guests. I think he did announce guests, and I can't remember. Let me see if I can see it real quick so we can get Mav out of here real quick. Did he say what we were going to have? I think he did. I can't. Oh, Blam, where are you? Yes, we are going to have. Oh, God. Are you serious?
Is it Umbra?
I might be sick Saturday night, everybody. Anyways, yes, PTK Blam's channel, the Shop Podcast Blam. Fuzzy will be back this week, myself, and we are having the Ego, Infinite Umbra.
I knew based on the way you said it that it was going to be Umbra.
But the good news is he doesn't matter because Kay Asante is going to be there. My brother Kay Asante is going to be there to help out. So we're going to have Kay, we'll have Umbra. There as well, I guess. Anyways, the Shop Podcast, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock.
Kay Asante is going to show up and he's going to sound smarter than everybody else because
he does. But I love
because
that.
He is.
But
like
again, but
he had like all of his tech stuff, man. It's like anytime he starts talking about this stuff, I'm like, man, this guy's like fucking really smart.
Yeah, well, again, it helps because then Umbra realizes how not smart he is, even though he tries to be. When somebody like Kay Asante.
I want to just see Umbra and Kay Asante have an argument about the Unreal Engine.
Oh Jesus, no, we're not going to start that. I can't listen to that nonsense.
Please,
anybody who doesn't know, it's a running joke. I love Umbra. Umbra and I do this to each other. We go back and forth all the damn time. So he's even brought me up on shows that I'm not on, like Mavcast. I heard that, Umbra. Anyways, so yes, this is a running joke between me and Umbra. So I love the dude, but he is Mr. Ego. So be there on Saturday night for that. And then, of course, next week it'll start all over again. So Double Barrel Gaming, Boomstick, every 5 days a week, but Tuesdays, Xbox Factor, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time, all good things green. Back here, my week starts on another episode of PM and the PM Pong and Mav and the PM for this show right here, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. Listen, y'all, it's the Golden Age of Gaming. Please enjoy your weekend. If you're down that way, please stay safe on top of it all. That's all that truly matters. Otherwise, get out there, play what you love what you play, and I'll talk to you all real soon. Mav, get us out of here, brother.
Have a good one, everybody. Peace out. Good night.